Tanner White and Kalamazoo. Tanner White and head coach Jamie Zor. Tanner White.
Kalamazoo College Hornets. Kalamazoo College, the MIAA, and the NCAA promote good sportsmanship by its student athletes, coaches, and fans. We request your cooperation in supporting the student athletes and officials in a positive manner. Profanity, derogatory comments, or other intimidating actions directed at athletes, officials, team representatives, or other fans will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from the site of competition. At this time, we would like you to direct your attention to midfield, where Kalamazoo College President Jorge Gonzalez, Provost Jeanette Eifert Johnson, and Director of Athletics and Head Football Coach Jamie Zorbo stand ready to honor the 20 seniors of the 2024 Kalamazoo College football season. We would like to thank each of them for their hard work, dedication, and representation of the football program over the past 4 years. Our first senior is a wide receiver, number 3, Jeremy Ardeshai, from Muskegon, Michigan, and a proud graduate of Reese Butler High School. A business major and political science minor who studied abroad in Madrid, Spain, Jeremy showed great resilience despite several knee injuries over the course of his career, representing the heart and commitment of a true Hornet football player. Jeremy plans to take a gap year working as a paralegal before applying to law school. Next, we honor senior linebacker number 3, Tommy Cardis, from Muskegon, Michigan, and a proud graduate of Muskegon Catholic Central High School. A business major, Tommy has appeared in 23 games and tallied 107 tackles, 1 sack, 5 forced fumbles, and 2 fumble recoveries over 3 seasons. Tommy was named MIAA Defensive Player of the Week once last season and earned second-team All-MIAA defensive honors as a junior. He's also earned MIAA Academic Honor Roll honors from Shelby Village and a proud graduate of Martin High School, a business major in anthropology and sociology minor, Gabe studied abroad in Madrid, Spain last spring. After today, Gabe will be playing in all but 2 games over the last 4 years. A 4-year starter at corner, Gabe has tallied 146 total tackles, 4 tackles for a loss, 4 interceptions, and has been a standout on special teams over his career. Gabe received CSC Academic All-District honors as a junior last season and has earned MIAA Academic Honor Roll accolades
you for listening to the internet broadcast of Kalamazoo College Athletics. Today's game is starting in just a few minutes, and pregame coverage will start in just a moment. Thank you for listening to Kalamazoo College Athletics. Thank you for listening to the internet broadcast of Kalamazoo College Athletics. Today's game is starting in just a few minutes, and pregame coverage will start in just a moment. Thank you for listening to Kalamazoo College Athletics. Thank you for listening to the internet broadcast of Kalamazoo College Athletics. Today's game is starting in just a few minutes, and pregame coverage will start in just a moment. Thank you for listening to Kalamazoo College Athletics. Thank you for listening to the internet broadcast of Kalamazoo College Athletics. Today's game is starting in just a few minutes, and pregame coverage will start in just a moment. Thank you for listening to Kalamazoo College Athletics. Thank you for listening to the internet broadcast of Kalamazoo College Athletics. Today's game is starting in just a few minutes, and pregame coverage will start in just a moment. Thank you for listening to Kalamazoo College Athletics. Thank you for listening to the internet broadcast of Kalamazoo College Athletics. Today's game is starting in just a few minutes, and pregame coverage will start in just a moment. Thank you for listening to Kalamazoo College Athletics. Thank you for listening to the internet broadcast of Kalamazoo College Athletics. Today's game is starting in just a few minutes, and pregame coverage will start in just a moment. Thank you for listening to Kalamazoo College Athletics.
Hey folks, good afternoon, and thanks so much for joining us here at Angel Field one more time for the 2024 season. I'm Tanner White, football alum here at Kalamazoo, class of 2022. On tap for this afternoon, the Trine Thunder are in town to close out the regular season. They're looking to spoil Kalamazoo's senior day. We can't have that. It's a gigantic group of 20 seniors here in Kalamazoo that have been so integral to some of the most memorable moments in program history. I want to warmly welcome back our newest member of the broadcast team, Julia Rambo. You care to give us a brief refresher on you?
Hey guys, so happy to be here. Julia Rambo, senior here at Kalamazoo College. Yeah, it is a wonderful day to be a Hornet here and watching our seniors compete for their last game of 2024.
Yeah, thanks, Julia. Glad to have you. And again, this is the season finale. The Trine Thunder are entering play today with kind of a mirror image record, if you will, of Kalamazoo. They're 5-4 overall and 3-3 in MIAA play. Like everybody else, they were handled by hope, but they have some quality wins versus Olivet, Calvin, and last week they put 52 points on Adrian. They're ranked at the bottom of the MIAA in points allowed. They're 7th in total offense, but they've won games. I feel that has to be chalked up a little bit to the scoring environment around the league, but also kind of who is this team, what they want to do. We're struggling to figure that out, but we have a couple of ideas, right?
Yeah, we do. You know, there's been a little bit of a struggle we're feeling with the identity of the team in regard of the quarterback. I mean, we've had two key guys throwing the ball here, Cole Alexander and Ivan Collins for the Trine here today. So we'll see kind of what happens with that.
Yeah, they've also got a couple of reigning MIAA Players of the Week on offense and special teams. You want to give us a little insight on those two guys?
Yeah. So for Salem Felder here, for our running back sophomore, 7 touchdowns, and he is the offensive player of the week, as well as our special teams guy of the week is, one moment. I think we're doing our national anthem.
Yeah, so sorry, we're a little bit ahead. But as always, we invite you to join in the observation of the traditions with us. And we thank you so much for honoring that tradition with us. I talked with Coach Zorbo during warm-ups earlier today. It's about the irreplaceable aura of this senior class, but of course what they have to do to win today versus Trine as well. We'll hear what Coach had to say, and by the time we come back, we'll be just about ready for kickoff here in the zoo. The Hornets and the Trine Thunder here for Senior Day. Tanner White and head coach Jamie Zorbo for the last time for the year, regrettably. Coach, I have a feeling here on Senior Day it's going to be much less bitter and much more sweet. You agree?
Absolutely. I mean, this is a great group of seniors, 20 seniors specifically, that have given a lot to our program, helped our program grow and get better over the years. And they're definitely leaving this program in a much better place than when they entered it. And that's what it's all about. And it's great to see them grow over those 4 years, and really happy that we get one more opportunity here to play football and hopefully send them out on a high note.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of high notes, I'm that guy that typically gushes over those kind of things, and then you give me that level-headed, measured response. Can we flip that around and you gush about Sheldon Riley from last week? His performance before that injury, so gutsy.
Absolutely. He was on on pace to have his career game and was giving everything he had, and unfortunately broke his leg on that last touchdown run. But to his credit, and he'll go down in history. He scored a touchdown in his very first college carry and his last college carry, and that'll be his legacy. Great leader, very hard worker, gave everything he had to the program, and it's unfortunate he can't be with us today, but definitely went out on a high note.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's emblematic of his career. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, of course, Trine is in the zoo today. They've gone 5-4 so far, but I see them as kind of an enigmatic team, having allowed the most points and yards in the league, as well as being the 7th-ranked offense, yet they've beaten some good teams. They've got a workhorse running back, a reigning MIAA Offensive Player of the Week. They put 52 points on a good Adrian team. So who is this Trine team? What's their identity?
That's a great question. I'm asking the same questions myself. I think they got off to a slow start in league play this year. They have struggled at quarterback. They graduated a 5th-year senior last year that played a lot of football for them, and they're rotating some guys at that position, and I think that's hindering their offense a little bit, and a lot of new faces on defense as well. But, I mean, this team wants to run the ball, and they do a really good job of that. And if we can get up on them and get up on them early, create some turnovers, that's really been their Achilles heel. And if you give them a chance to stay in the game or take a lead, then you're going to be in for a long day. But if we get up on them early and turn them over, I think we'll have a great day.
Legacy, records, history, it's all on the line today. One final keys to victory for the 2024 season.
We have to obviously be more consistent. I mean, we haven't been. I still will argue that we haven't played our best football. We certainly haven't consistently played it for 4 quarters, and we've got one more opportunity to do that. And got to play complementary football. Offense has got to do a great job of being efficient and moving the chains, being efficient in the red zone, putting points on the board. And then defensively, we have to get them in long yardage situations, pressure their quarterback and making bad decisions, get some turnovers, and build some momentum in the special teams phase of the game as well.
Hey, thanks so much, Coach. One last time for the 2024 season. Good luck today.
Thanks, Tanner. Really appreciate it.
Final time talking with Coach Zorbo for the year here for Senior Day. Again, we thank Coach, and absolutely a wonderful just tradition. It's part of the routine, too. You got to have that game day routine, and every time I walk down to Coach Zorbo, I really learn something. Now, speaking of learning something, we're going to learn a little bit more about the legacy of Kalamazoo throughout the day. It starts right here with kickoff. Here's Emery Roberts, the senior lefty kicker, teed up. Opening kickoff here in the zoo. It's fielded on the fly at about the 4-yard line. That's for Rashawn Street. And good swarm by the Nets. They should stop this at about the 27-yard line. And we're off and running here in Kalamazoo. Lance Wolford with that special teams tackle for the Hornets. Now, that was quick. We've already had the announcement there, as you hopefully heard on the crowd mic, for a sideline warning.
Oh.
Well, something to think about. But the warning, no harm done. It's just you don't want to get another one of those. That'll be 15 with the unsportsmanlike. Kalamazoo won the toss. They elected to defer. They'll be receiving here in the second half. This Trine offense coming out. Ivan Collins to start at quarterback. Got a 1 tight end. He's off the ball to the left side. They'll go play action. They're going to dump it underneath. Complete. Ball carrier forced out with a big stick. That's Cargill. Speak softly. Carry that big stick, right?
That's a second down for Trine.
Raymond Cargill seriously needs some more MIAA, all MIAA consideration, because he's just been doing that every week, sideline to sideline. Gabe Olivier, he's the off-ball linebacker to the left side now. Hornets will drop him out, and it's a short pass complete for the Thunder's leading receiver, Tristan Burris. Burris hauls it in. That'll be enough for the first down. Now going to make a little bit of a personnel change. Thunder go with 12. Deshaun Jameson in the backfield right now. They've got 2 tight ends, both off the ball to the right side. They'll stretch it out that way. Nets forcing it. Dinas knocks him out of bounds. Cargill throwing his hands up a little bit too. Maybe, not sure what he's talking about there, but it is a medium gain. Call it 4 yards on that first down run. Second down, 6. Got 3 wide receivers. Now they're going to motion one in, and he sets up as an off-ball tight end. It's an option. Now they'll give it off, and it's short. You got 2 to 3 yards to go. Put on your pontificator's cap. Shall we keep the run game in play here? Is that what Trine wants to do? You think maybe on this first possession? Sure.
Yeah, based on this team here, they do not have that many passing stats. It's interesting. They're quite a slow-moving team in comparison to others.
They will stick with it on the ground. That is well short. 4th down. And Nets defense swarming. Dylan Gacky, that first stop from the defensive end spot. And the punt team is out. It was going to be no man's land, and that was my next question for you. But the decision is clearly made. Dan Lee Hernandez is the punter. They're going to show a back wall with 3 backs back there to protect. Kalamazoo with the 1 deep returner, that's Jonas Spates. Lee Hernandez, going to get it off. There's a little bit of roll. It might carry just beyond the 20-yard line, and it's going to be downed. Right at that 20-yard line, the Nets, well, good as a touchback.
Sure is.
It's going to be Josh Nichols leading them out there one more time for the legacy all-time leading passer in Kalamazoo College history. It's not just the yards, it's also the attempts, the touchdowns. If my math was correct, I believe Josh needs 5 touchdowns today to tie the career touchdowns record.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's hard to count him out. It's a big number, but very difficult to count him out. They'll start with an RPO on the first play. Complete, Devin Yankee. Great cutback, and should be the first down.
And they're moving those posts.
It's the same exact kind of look that they ran on the first play of the Alma game last week, if you'll recall. That one was complete to Tyler Houle. They're going to motion Clark in. He now becomes the number 2. And maybe a little bit early arrival, but pass incomplete. The linebacker on Connor Bell there at the back was Weeson Ludwig. Think you want to be careful arriving that early again? I don't know. Well, nonetheless, 2nd down and 10 coming up. Nets defense held, though, on the first possession. 2 receivers each way. Nichols wants Bell under again. Underneath again, that is.
Quite a bullet pass there to Connor.
And you ever watch guys, you didn't maybe get as much chance to watch during warm-ups today, but you've seen them and the ball sort of sounds a little bit different when they throw it. It's got a little bit as if you audibly hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Josh Nichols with the 4-seam fastball, right?
Yeah. Talked about that last week. Sometimes expecting something different.
Hornets will put a bunch, 3 wide receivers to the right. You had some early movement. Snap did not come. They get back. And an unblocked rusher in there clean for a sack. Ridge Howard, untouched. Fourth down, roughly a Walmart parking lot. If you got to listen to a little bit of the senior day ceremony before, we talked a whole lot about Jonas Bates. He had one of the longest paragraphs there because he just does everything.
He does.
The sheer versatility, now he's going to be in there to punt. Snap a little low, Spates fields. Kick a little low, but should have some roll to it. And not a booming kick. Likely going to put that offense at about the 47, 48-yard line. It's definitely pretty good starting field position for Trine.
Yeah, that low snap kind of caused them to kick not too deep there.
I think you'll live with it from a guy who is, one of the most outstanding receivers. He's had a 3-touchdown game.
Yeah.
He caught the game winner against Calvin. This is a guy who probably didn't expect to be punting at all this year, right?
Yeah. Well, when you're good at a lot of things.
Yeah, sometimes he's just simply the best option. 11 personnel to start here. They're going to go with a little smoke screen. Olivier, now Dynas to clean it up. Ball's out. In all likelihood, going to be down first. That could have been out the gate, though. There is a different aura. You can say it every week, right? Oh, this game and this situation feels a little bit different. But the swarming and the stinging that the defense is doing so far, do you feel it?
I feel it. I mean, senior day today, last game of the season, they're putting it all out there. Love to see it.
They motion the tight end in. He'll set up. Now they want to go deep. Collins is booted. He slips a couple of tackles along the sideline as he heads out. Medium gain.
9 minutes, 30 seconds in this first quarter.
Collins. He's got one guy tying his shoe right now. Everybody else is ready to run a play. Now we're all set. That receiver aligns now with a 3-by-2 empty look. Nobody in the backfield. Collins will throw to the sticks and a little beyond. Knocked out of bounds by Gabe Myers. What a completion, moves the sticks. Complete for Owen Hubbard. A lot of cushion so far, maybe on the outside corners. Gabe Myers, you'll see, is the far corner, and Alex Pepin is the corner closest to us. Do you think at some point, maybe to give those receivers a little bit less room, they go with some press coverage?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We seem to have a zone coverage right now. No man coverage currently.
2 backs in the backfield this set. Dump underneath. Dynas, Mitchell, a couple bounce off, a spin move. And finally, it's closed down, but there's a lot of extra yardage to be had there after a couple broken tackles. Everybody always wants to talk about tackling and sort of the ins and outs of it, the schematics to it, but sometimes is it just wanting to tackle? Is it just having that attitude that you're going to run through somebody?
You know, I wish I could tell you. Fortunately, I don't have that experience, but I mean, I could imagine.
They'll sweep right side. It's great patience from Felder. Now he bounces it out and should have the first down. They have been true to form so far. This is presumably going to be what we're seeing all day, right? It's Felder early and often.
Correct. We see that they're just, pushing through, low snap rate. Just keep driving forward.
It's notable that they don't really huddle, but still
Yes.
don't run tempo.
Right. Like I said earlier, slow tempo team.
They're going to actually motion the back all the way out. He's a wide receiver to the left side. Pressure's coming. Collins sacked. Cargill plus Gacky. There's a lot of things to be said about patience for a quarterback, but at some point the ball's got to come out, right?
Right.
You had Mahmoud El Safadi also given some push from the nose spot. Cargill coming in from the linebacker spot, and he combines. They'll split the sack. No score here, just under 7 minutes first quarter. Trine's driving, but now backed up after the sack. They'll show some window dressing. Now run Felder. He slips some more tackles. Felder, tons and tons of room. Should be down to about the 10-yard line. I don't know that it's difficult to figure out the issue so far. It's just tackling, right?
Yeah, safety Mitchell there got him out right at right inside the 10 there.
It's going to be really close. I'm not sure if they're marking it goal to go yet, but I see the down markers down on the field, that is. So
I think it's 10 goal.
It's as long as you can go. That's maybe the one unfortunate part. They're in the pistol this time, another little bit different look. One tight end on the ball to the right. Looking left the whole way. They'll throw on a spot. Garrison wrapped it up, but they get about halfway there. Complete for Jermaine Williams. Second down and goal from the 5. You still see 94 for the Hornets, Mahmoud Al-Safadi in there at the nose spot. Typically, that's been Nolan Janiga's spot, and he had a sack last year in this game against Trine. That was played on the road, and Trine won that one 42-29. Looks like they're going to run Felder again. Now it's a keep for Collins. He rocks back to the middle and meets a wall. They got a couple more to go here. Now you see a bunch of big bodies. Again, I'll ask you to put on the pontificator's cap. In all likelihood, this is a run up the middle, right?
Yeah, they're pushing. They're pushing to get in that end zone there. With 2 to go.
Their goal line back has been 24, Mickey Daring. He scored on 2 one-yard touchdown runs last week to help them put 52 on Adrian. Oh, now they've got 3 in the backfield. They're showing the T. And it's play action out of it. Collins got by 1 man, now 2. Meets a wall. And 4th down. Jackson Mitchell from the safety spot with one of the pops of the year to keep Collins out.
With all his might, he is saying, get out of here.
Man, and they're going to go for this on the 4th down on their second possession, first quarter. No looks to the sideline for the field goal team.
Trine wants to put those points on the board.
They've got 2 tight ends to the right side. You expect them to go that way? Collins, now Felder to the outside, cuts back, he's into the end zone. It became one-on-one with him and the corner Pepin. That is advantage to the running back just about every time. Pepin, that corner to that right side, goes 5'11", 170. Felder himself, about 5'9", 180. But as we've seen in this first quarter, runs a lot harder than that, if you will. The kicker, 95. Anthony Hentz on. Extra point up and plenty good. 2-hour point about tempo, ball control. The drive there, 11 plays and 53 yards. Less than 5 yards a play if my math checks out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that Trine, obviously the first possession, they got stopped around midfield. I don't think that possession could have been almost any better. They start at their own 47. That's great field position. Mm-hmm. Then they take plenty of time off. Do you see anything that... Now, they had the one sack in there, and maybe they want to clean that up. Other than that, would you complain at all about that start?
No. I mean, they're just making continuous progress, and just moving down the field. They do not seem to have any tension, any nerves there. They're just, we got this. Let's move through. Let's see what the Hornets can do here on their offense.
And I think it is so easy, as a guy that's played in a senior day game, of course, to get a little bit too juiced up and tense. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's where Kalamazoo was for the first, especially their first offensive drive. Now you've got to get that completely out of sight, out of mind, because tons and tons of football left.
Exactly. 4 minutes and 23 seconds left in this first quarter.
Kickoff coming here from the left hash. That's two deep returners, Lucas Hannafin and Jonas Spates. Fielded about the 10 on the right side of the field. He tried to take it back to the left. Ends up tackled maybe short of the 20 near the middle of the field. Two possessions in a row. Interesting little note, without touchbacks, but they happen to start at the 20-yard line anyway. Now, maybe you'd want a little bit better returns. Nonetheless, you do see press coverage here with Devin Yankee. It's a spot you could go, and on the other side, it's Spates. Nets will start with the run, though. Connor Bell. Munger, the center, scrapping in there, and Wrigley, the left tackle, kind of backed out of the pile at the last moment. You always throw your hands up to say, hey, it wasn't me, right?
Yeah. Had a gain of 2 there.
Second down, 8. Nate Clark, the tight end, he's off that right hip of Wrigley, the tackle. They're going to swing it out, and a little low. A worm burner.
Yeah, just tipped by Trine there.
It's kind of like my tee shots in golf, right? You want to get loft, everybody knows that, but maybe you're trying to rip it a little bit too hard and just kind of skips in. Third down and 8. Couple of quick possessions so far for the offense. They look to extend this. Motion Spates in. Flush it that way. Tons of room. Spates first down, whole lot more. Maybe 14, 15. The numbers from Spates last year in the Trine game, remember those? A 12-catch game for 171 yards. I think you circle that and say, well, maybe this guy likes playing them. Nichols pirouettes out to his left. He's got Hannafin. Great job coming back to the ball. That is so intangible. It's so hard to teach.
Yeah, Rashawn Street almost got him there, but hey, Hannafin got his hands in there.
It's a tad shy of the first down, not by a whole lot. You think they're just going to get up and do a quick inside run for Connor Bell?
We shall see. Connor Bell is, he can be a powerhouse. We've seen it.
Maybe a yard here to go. They will hand it off for Bell. He's following the guard Shemwell. But it looks like this play went very, very slightly backwards or maybe nowhere. Yeah, officially no gain. They run power. They're following Travis Shemwell at right guard there. Not quite enough. Nets back up on the ball. 3 wide, 1 tight end. They'll go RPO. It's complete for Clark. Good block out there from Hannafin to spring him. Clark dragging bodies.
Clark moving through those guys. About 3-4 defenders on him, just moving.
That's a wrestling match. A tag team wrestling match because all these Trine defenders are like, help, help. Oh, man. And they were ripping at the ball, too, but sometimes that makes opportunities for extra yardage.
Yeah, ball on the 45 now.
They're going to motion Clark just a little bit out wider here. And now they'll throw. Hannafin! He could be out of there!
And he jogs into the end zone a little bit there.
That man is dangerous.
Fantastic catch and touchdown by Lucas Hannafin.
To regain a claim to leading the MIAA in touchdowns as well. It's Grant Holzer coming into today with hope. Presumably, Holzer's going to have a good chance to get one. Hope's on the road against Olivet. But for now, tie in that category. Arvin Krishnan, the holder. Roberts, kick. Up and way out of here.
And that is a 7-7 game here. Kalamazoo College.
Sort of an opposite field to the Trine touchdown drive. They went
Very
11
much.
plays, 53 yards.
Exactly.
Kalamazoo ends up only 7 plays, 80 yards, and of course, made it a little bit quicker. The quick strikes had maybe been kind of missing the last, half of the season. I mean, in the first half, really, they got what they wanted through the air so often. Josh Nichols absolutely slinging that. They put the 50 bomb on Manchester. And then you meet some really good teams in conference play. It had slowed down a little bit. Man, not today.
Yeah, that vision right there for Hannafin. Clear as could be.
Rashawn Street and that reigning MIAA Special Teams Player of the Week, Konstantin Thrasavulu. Those two guys are back deep. Dangerous?
Very dangerous. Thrasavulu actually had a 75-yard kick return the other day with the win against Adrian.
Roberts from the right hash to kick it off. And it will go the other way. It's fielded on the offensive left. They'll go reverse. And this has got a seam. Petty to knock him out of bounds. And I mean knock.
Yeah, big return there for Thrasavulu. We knew that he was going to be dangerous there.
In 2 weeks in a row, you see teams trying tricky stuff on their kickoff returns against Kalamazoo.
We have.
Alma ran a very similar thing, and they have a very dangerous returner, Zach Poff. Yet, both, at least Kalamazoo survives. And it's so much about survival. You've been at this point of a season before with injuries and things and how those add up, and it's just, who do you got left? Those are who you've got on the field.
Yes.
They'll start with Collins and Selder. And Dynas should have him for a short loss. Dynas coming off a whale of a game against Alma. Did you happen to notice the 16 tackles? And shame on us, we didn't focus on it enough.
No, we did not.
You can always it takes moments of watching this team on film and you see, oh, 40, I gotta know who that guy is.
Yeah, Carson Dynas, 32 solo tackles there, 39 assisted, and a total of 71.
Collins will throw along that sideline, complete for Burris. He steps out, probably going to have the first down. Nolan Janinga now back in at nose. You saw Al-Safadi taking most of the nose snaps on that last Trine touchdown drive. Janinga's still playing with that big club on the left hand, broken hand earlier in the year. Ronnie Spencer is the left corner, the corner furthest from us now, and Brandon Speed, 30, is the corner on the right. They'll give it on a jet motion here. This has got some legs. Oh, a great job holding on, then he goes backwards.
Just by the ankle there.
And something came off of him. I don't know if it was a piece of the uniform or something that popped off. I was hoping it was the football, of course.
32. Oh, well, let's see if they stop that clock there.
Left hash, second down, and they'll call it 6. So he does end up going backwards just a bit after the jet. They will stick on the ground. Great patience on the mesh. Plus Felder is going to spin forward and a first down. That'll be the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, Salim Felder there, leading rushing for Trine.
Yeah, the early and often running with Felder, that's a formula that they can win with. A 5-4 football team, if you know one thing, if you do one thing well, I think you have to hammer it, right? You've got to continue, stick with it as long as humanly possible until you're forced to change.
Correct. I mean, this team here, it's working. I mean, 7-7 here. They're going to try to keep doing what they're doing.
And the numbers rushing, they looked pretty good right now for Felder through that first quarter. What do you see?
Yeah, 48 yards gained and averaging 6 yards per carry.
Yeah, again, I'm not fantastic at math, but I think if you average 6 yards every carry, you're never going to be stopped.
Yeah.
And the announcements that we just had here, we're just recognizing Josh again because that all-time passing yardage record did fall on the road during the Albion game. It got glossed over, and I talked with Coach about that a couple of weeks later when we met here for the Hope game, and I said, hey, this is outstanding. I really think that this needs recognition. And Coach agreed with me, of course, said how proud that he was of Josh because, frankly, lots of great quarterbacks here over their history, and yet Nichols stands alone among them all. Thunder offense back to work. Ball on the plus 44-yard line, 1st and 10. Play fake to Felder this time. Collins loading up, looking end zone, got 2-man, caught! Touchdown!
Long pass. Wow.
It's Tristan Burris, and Kamani Jones is the only guy there with 2 deep threats. You wonder if that's what was supposed to happen defensively or if that's a bit of a bust in the back end.
Yeah, I do not think Kalamazoo College was expecting that one.
A lot of time to throw for Collins back there, too. That's one thing that stood out to me. Ready to tack on the extra point. Colton Wampler. Kick is good. It took one play into the second quarter.
Wow. 7 seconds taken off of that clock. That's how long that took. Wow.
And we say, the announcer's jinx, right? We say, well, this team loves to control the ball. They have this fantastic running back in Felder, who's the MIAA Player of the Week. And they say, no. No, we're chucking this thing. Deal with it.
Yeah, also, interestingly, we see Ivan Collins, throwing that instead of Rashawn Street, who has actually more games.
Oh, now Kalamazoo's already made a change on their kickoff return unit. If you recall, Hannafin fielded the first one. Now it's Tyler Houle. He's at that left deep returner spot. Houle in spades this time. Coach Zorbo sits 4th in career wins here in Kalamazoo. Needs one more to move into a tie for 3rd place all time. Spates throws up the hands, says, let's get out of here with a touchback. The first touchback for the day.
Hornets will take over 1st and 10.
Back out. Possession number 3 for the Nets offense. I want to flash back again to the game from last year, 42-29 Trine, but there was so many absurdities about that game. So John Brunette, the starting halfback, threw a touchdown pass to Sam Hughes at the tight end. You had Ian Burr, the kicker punter, and Lucas Hannafin. They all attempted a pass. I wonder how long it takes before we get tricky. They're going to motion Houle, little orbit. Now he sets up as a halfback. And Houle with the burst. Going to be close to the first down. Wrinkles, gadgets.
Nice spin moves from Hool there. And they're moving those chains.
I tried to warn you during the film session, there would be some funny stuff, but like I say, didn't take long at all for them to get tricky. Speed option, pitch out for Bell. Oh, he broke a tackle. That's just enough to maybe get them a gain of 1 or so.
Yeah, quick toss off to the left there.
Looks like they're going to set up in a bunch again. And it does officially go for no gain. They're pressing the point man of the bunch, but that's Jonas Spates. Keep that in mind. Going to go underneath. Jaquez James, not a whole lot after the catch there. That's a great tackle from Daniel Boudoir.
Seemingly a gain of 2 there.
You got another 3rd down coming up. This should be about 7 yards to go. 2 each way. Nichols to drill it in there. You got a lot of early contacts. Oh, my.
Yet no flag on the play. Oh, and Jamie Zorbo is thinking there should be a flag on the play.
That is, in some measure, stunning.
Yeah.
James's arm is pinned behind his back before the football game. Nichols will punt this thing, though. Krasavulu's got a little bit of room. Kulikowskis, the long snapper, missed. Stapleton got cleaned up, and that's going to come back.
Flags thrown on the play.
Well, I don't like to speculate on the penalties, but simply put, that will come back. It's Stapleton going to be drawing the blind side or the block in the back, something to that degree. Still waiting on the announcement there, but I don't think it should take real long. And that will leave Trine a little bit back up. That will help the Hornet offense a little bit, likely to get a bit of a break. So they call the penalty on 41. I don't know that it was actually 41 on Trine, but Stapleton, of course, 41 for Kalamazoo, was absolutely the one to force that penalty. And officials timeout. We just got the, I believe that's the back judge going to get set. Getting his cardio in.
Yeah, got to jog down there.
Excuse me, that's the side judge now. Now the 1st down 10 play. They want to keep launching this thing with Collins. And contact this time. Now that will be flagged. It's going to be Jalen Bowles-Swain for Kalamazoo from his safety spot. So a little note about the penalty spotting now. Pass interference, if it occurs before 15 yards, you'll get only the spot of the foul. Anything beyond 15 yards, and you will get the 15. Of course, as you might imagine, it also carries the automatic 1st down. In fact, they just wiped out that penalty, essentially, because now you got 1st down and 10 right where the return would have ended. They'll motion the tight end, Timothy Casper. He sets up off the ball. Run that way. Blown up. Big time. Dinas.
Another one for Dinas. Having a game there. Having a game.
Having a career.
Yes, career. And on senior day. Last game.
And the laundry list of statistics for him in Spates, 2 former high school teammates, by the way, is absolute. I mean, I ran out of breath trying to read those. My eyes started going fuzzy just reading the senior day script of those guys. Do everything on the football field. 2nd down, 12. Collins got tons of time. He's going to have to roll now. Dinas to clean him up again. Kill shot.
He came in there. Wow.
Bad intentions. Of all days to have them, this is it. Get your frustrations out, guys.
Yeah, came in there to do some damage.
thought that ball came out at the end, too. It's probably one where he's already out of bounds, likely. 3rd down, 11 yards to go, though. They're going to show trips. 3 wide receivers out to Collins left, and they're empty. Collins steps up a little bit, checks it down short. Great tackle to hold it. 4th down.
Jalen Bowell swaying on that tackle.
And that's such a great way to respond, right? He was the guy flagged earlier for the pass interference. Then they complete a pass in your zone, knew exactly what to do, and put the stick on him.
That's what you got to do. You know, make a mistake. That's okay. That's all going to happen to us. But it's how you take from it and how you move from it. And obviously, he did.
And Coach told us that about the Alma offense last week. He said they're absolutely going to get theirs. It just all comes down to how we respond and limit them. Punter, Lee Hernandez back out there. It's caught by Spates, now muffed! And Thunder might be on it. Spates had one shot maybe at the very end of the play, but it's loose, and now the Thunder offense coming back out. Another dramatic beat in what just figures to be a dramatic ball game. That's what we do here on Angel. Have you felt that?
Yes. It's always dramatic here.
I should say it's definitely not just limited to Angel. We got Woodworth over with the baseball field. We got Mackenzie behind us. Mm-hmm. We got, well, everything. You want to go over to Anderson, back on campus, everywhere. Dramatics. Just once. I want a boring game, right? You come in, you know what's going to happen, and that's exactly what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what Trine here does.
Ivan Collins to lead them back out. Finally, they go back to the run on 1st down here. Felder picks his way through. He's got the great patience, the vision. Mm-hmm. Stapleton on the tackle for Kalamazoo. Now you got an offensive lineman rotating out. That's 79, Ronald Simpson. Not sure what that's all about. See if we can figure it out eventually as we go along. Now you got the tight end. Oh, and they're going to flop them both. Flip both tight ends from the right to the left. And now Collins out of the pistol. You got nobody as an eligible receiver to that right side. He'll stretch it out to the left. And Dynas knocked him down again. Dynas and Gacky. Gacky is now going to come off. Brendan Panucci is going to come on. That's another Hornet senior. He'll be that far defensive end on the right side. Would you send a little bit of pressure here? Would you bring an extra rusher or 2? Or do you want 7, 8 guys in coverage?
We shall see what they are going to do here.
It's 11 personnel. Collins play fakes. He steps up. There's a ton of room to run. Collins with about nobody home. The stiff arm might be a tad short. And then Collins himself just threw a little shove in on the tackler. And now finally the tension has diffused. Enough for now, but it's a
definitely
really good...
Yeah, definitely could feel that.
Yeah, of course. It's palpable here in the air. Kalamazoo going with a bit of a goal line set, getting some heavier bodies in. And now they're back in that tee. They got 3 backs in a line. They'll give for Felder. And at the goal line, a little bit short this time.
Felder, the running back, gain of just 1.
At least the first play here, they're held out.
2nd and goal from the 1.
1 yard to go there.
Remember, the goal line back is 24, Mickey Daring. A leap, Felder stretches the ball over, he got it.
Felder reaches over for a Trine touchdown.
It's always a gamble, right, to take 2 hands off of the football, stretch it out with the 1.
Oof, yeah.
He got just enough, though, over the top of the pile.
Anthony Pence in to attempt an
Anthony Hentz again, extra point. Third one to make it a 14-point ball game. And up and good, back towards that brick wall. 21-7 here in the second quarter. They continue to feed Salim Felder. It's clear enough, and maybe now, 10 weeks in, they finally found that identity. You put 52 points on a good Adrian ball club. You run the ball incredibly well in that one. Now, I don't think you have to go away from it. They snuck in the one long pass on the play action as Felder completed the bomb for the 44-yarder. Besides that, getting it done on the ground.
A good dynamic between Colin and Felder.
Their rushing yards show 79 right now. On 20 attempts, I mean, it's really, really clear what they're looking to do here. They got 10 first downs as well for the quarter and not even a half that we've played so far. Efficient. Kalamazoo offense, well, got to get it going, got to get one back. Hopefully you can go 2 for 1, meaning get 2 possessions out of this half. Kickoff coming. Hannafin went back in, so now you've rotated returners a couple of different times. This will be a touchback again. But Spates came out this time after muffing the punt last time. You hope it's related just in that sort of personnel decision and not because of any injury. But here we see Spates as the receiver lined up out wide to the right. That's something I was going to follow. And now you see a corner getting aligned a little bit late out on Hool. I thought, curious to leave anybody uncovered. They'll start showing press coverage, though. And the Hornets will loft one. Hannafin from the slot. Incomplete.
A little too deep there for Hannafin.
Yeah, but he has a step, right? You see exactly what Nichols was looking for?
Yes, yep. Right on that path. Just a little deeper.
Jahari Branch, the freshman safety. A tough assignment from him. But he lined up over Hannafin. Here Hannafin's in a real tight split just behind Durbin. And they're going to motion Spates in too. Now a toss out that way. Behind Shemwell. Bell goes for 6, call it maybe 8. And Munger, the center, is looking at that side judge saying, help me out, I think talking about a face mask.
Yep.
Nets are going to be empty here. Nobody in the backfield. Nichols throws quick. Hannafin hauled it in. Gonna be close. Depending on the spot. Plus, I think you just had a little bit of a warning verbally given. It's probably on the tackles, right, and how close they are to being out of bounds there with Hannafin.
And they're moving those posts. First down for the Hornets.
Nets back in their 11 personnel. 1 back, 1 tight end. Andrew Durbin is that tight end right now. Flash him. Throw the other way off the hands. Spates. Incomplete.
Yeah, right through the hands of Spates. You can tell I think he's getting a little frustrated, but you know what? He's one of the best players for this Kalamazoo Hornet team, so we know what he's capable of.
And you've got to go back to him, right?
Exactly.
In all likelihood, I think very, very soon. Could be on this very down. They'll motion in Hool this time. Nichols rolls, ton of pressure. And went down. A decapitation attempt. Chase Smith.
Third down and 19 to go. Yeah, lost 9 there.
As soon as he rolls out, pressure in his face. Don't make a bad play worse, right? It's tough to say, yes, you should take the sack, but I think in that scenario, in order to, avoid the turnover, probably. Trips into the boundary to the right. Early movements.
Flag on the play here and stop clock. That's 6 minutes, 51 seconds.
As I had thought, too, it's a defensive penalty. It's the outside linebacker, Cal Lockhart, who moved first.
Hey, little gain there of 5, 14 to go, third down for the Hornets.
It helps. It doesn't give you a ton more options in terms of play calling, right? But
Right.
it helps, at least, even for a field position, if you should have to punt this. Same formation here, trips into the boundary. Nichols, a quicker drop. He's not on the same page. It's dropped up top, but Hull curled up shortly beyond the first down marker.
Yeah, those passes weren't quite in the thinking behind, where we're going with that. I think there's a little off page between our quarterback and our receivers here.
And Nichols is going to stay out there as the punter too. So he'll be replacing Spades for now. He had a phenomenal start to the season punting. Even won an MIAA Special Teams Player of the Week as one of the top quarterbacks in the league, but he was snapping them off.
Pretty cool.
Got a quick stoppage here too. Official timeout. Don't know what they're looking at. The long snapper, Kulakowskis, is in the middle of there. Well, you got no flags down. You got no noticeable warnings issued.
And now there's a flag on the play.
Yeah, a really, really late one. Let's parse through this. Intentional grounding, they say. Nichols throws quite deep. Hull, again, curled up shortly beyond the first down marker. They rule then that no receiver ends up in the area. Had they been on the same page, though, certainly would have. I'm very surprised by that. You also lose a down for intentional grounding here, so it is still fourth down. They're going to move the right back Wrigley in, and now Nichols rolls out. He'll punt. And with nobody deep, this should go a while. Cargill to the 30, now a scrum. Back behind the play. And then this is play on. Surprised. It's a good punt. We'll focus on that. A punt down to the 30-yard line of Trine. It helps to flip the field. Okay, we take a deep breath. We reset. Now, Kalamazoo defense, let's focus on this. The time to get a stop. It's this possession, right? As you're heading, you're in the second half of the second quarter, if you will, trailing 2 touchdowns. How do you get it done? They're going to set up with a tight end each way. Get the off-ball tight end to the left, on-ball tight end to the right. Oh, no. Now they'll flop them both to the right. 2 tight ends that way, plus all the receivers. And they'll go toss from under center, plus a halfback pass. And he made the business decision to take it himself. Williams definitely has the option to throw that thing as he's behind the line of scrimmage. But Kalamazoo not fooled. Williams still turns it into a pretty good run. He's probably got 8 yards. I don't know if you expected that when it's sort of a broken play. Usually you don't quite gain that much out of it, but it's a good job improvising. Second down, 3 yards to go. Straight give, zone run. Gonna be close. Ball a buck, pulled him back, might be a tad shy. No luck. They're moving the sticks. 5 minutes, 20 seconds here, second quarter.
First down for Bryce Furman.
Rotating a couple of backs through now, at least for the start of this possession. They're sitting Felder. Could certainly see him go back to it because you got plenty of time here. Still about 5 minutes to eat up some clock and maybe not give Kalamazoo the ball back. They fake. Kylan's got all day. I mean, forever. The receiver coming back. You got a flag down. Tipped, intercepted! It's Brandon Speed. We await the penalty flag.
And we shall see whose ball it is. Intended for Rashawn Street there. And it seems that
Speed had an interception in the Trine game last year. It's one of the most wide open receivers you'll ever see at first, but then the ball's underthrown as the receiver's coming back to it. And through witchcraft and wizardry, Speed comes up with it.
right. We're thinking all day for Collins to throw this ball, and then all of a sudden we see Speed come in there and snag it. Let's see if it is an interception, though.
Yeah, we haven't heard the penalty announcement. That is crucial. I believe it was the interaction between the wide receiver and the corner up top. So that is the interaction exactly as I was talking about. Ronnie Spencer, the corner the other way, before that pass is ever thrown, flag for defensive holding. So whatever would have transpired after then wiped off, irrelevant.
Oof, that's a tough play for the Hornets. Not what they wanted there.
Wipe out the interception. And a 1st and 10, the automatic first down carried on the defensive holding. 11 personnel. They're going to sweep for Furman. Gacky got him for a loss.
Oof. Gacky having a good game for him as well.
Yeah, the numbers, Gacky already on the day with 6 total tackles, 5 solo, a couple for a loss. Second down, 11. 4:15 to go, second quarter. Collins, play fakes. Looking deep again, now he steps up. Dynas and Cargill to chase him out. Knocked him out of bounds, but he'll gain 5, maybe 6. Seriously, with Cargill, I want to talk about sideline to sideline. You've seen him make literally plays on both sidelines, starting from anywhere. The pursuit, it's so intangible, it's so hard to teach, but Cargill is just, he is one of the best breakout players in the entire league that I've seen.
Yeah, he's got a great vision, especially today. He's ready to go. We're seeing that energy from him as well.
Collins on the 3rd and medium, still with a lot of time. Complete, what an adjustment for Burris. First down. Burris, the leading receiver coming in. You knew he would be heavily involved in the game plan. Already has the long touchdown catch too. That's scouting report. Tight end off the ball to the left side. Williams in the slot to the right. They play fake that way. They want to throw. Got a wheel. Complete. And it'll be goal to go.
Jermaine Williams with that leaping catch there. On the 8-yard line now. Flag thrown. We'll see what they are going to say about that.
Oh no, we lost the official's microphone. So as it came back in, the mic was cutting in and out a little bit there. They said dead ball foul, a late hit out of bounds on Amarion Hall, the corner over there on the far side of the field. So that gives them half the distance. It was going to be first down anyway. 21-7, they'll motion the tight end, Casper. Furman still in the backfield, sweeps out wide, following a couple big bodies. And Dynas going to keep him out.
big group effort there from the Hornets.
And the tackling has tightened up. Don't you think from the first quarter you had a
Yes.
couple of big plays that kind of, all come down to tackling, I think? And you've got the Trine offense clearing the field, but I don't know that the clock is running in order to take us to that 2. It has now finally reset, and it will be enough to take us. Gotcha. No worries. Made you look.
He did make me look. I had to look down that field there.
So the drive so far for Trine, it's been, emblematic of what they want to do. 8 plays, 66 yards, but getting it done a little bit more through the air this time. As the 2-minute timeout hits, 21-7 ball game. Kalamazoo really needing to hold here at the goal line. That's kind of non-negotiable. We'll take a look through the stats on the day. And let's give the numbers first for Ivan Collins, because maybe he wasn't necessarily sure that he was going to be starting this ball game until, say, this week. And yet Collins out there slinging it.
With 122 yards pass, with 44 being the longest pass there. Only 1 sack on the day, and he has a way of just slipping through those cracks, doesn't he? He's very, like we said, he's got a great, visual look of the field, and he is able to, see and try to get out of those tough times in the back.
The patience has been on display. I am more impressed by the accuracy, truly. 100%, that's about as good as you can get mathematically.
Yep, I'm seeing that here. 10 completions of 10 attempts.
Tristan Burris, the leading receiver, he's got 4 for 69. Again, he had the long reception. That was the 44-yard touchdown. And they're knocking at the door again. It's goal to go from the 4 as we break from the 2-minute timeout. The Trine Thunder and the Hornets here on Angel for Senior Day. The Nets, you got to stiffen up here. Once you get to the 4th down, we'll talk about decisions, but you got 2 downs to get there and hold them out first. It's still Bryce Furman, the sophomore, in the backfield, and they're under center now. Little wrinkle.
And maybe not under center anymore.
Yeah, smoke and mirrors. They go to pistol. Boot right. Had time to throw it, now throws back across the middle, knocked away. Ronnie Spencer. Oh no, it's actually a Marion Hall.
Cornerback there.
Yeah, you had Spencer, who had the holding penalty that he committed to prolong this drive. Now they go to Hall. It's a huge PBU there, but still a 3rd down. You've got to at least, get one more of those probably. And then again, we'll talk about decisions if they get to the 4th down. They go jet motion. Hand it to them. Got a lot of room out there.
Touchdown, Trine.
It's the 2nd time that they've shown it. They ran the jet earlier. Rashawn Street carrying them both times. And this time, got the corner, in for the touchdown. Extra point coming.
Colden Wampler for the extra point.
He's 3 of 3 so far.
And the kick is good.
A little bit of a 3-car pileup right at the end there. You see Peyton Aronson was kind of involved in that. He's another senior on that field goal block unit. Maybe taking out a little bit of the frustrations on a guard there. That's what you got to do, and create some knockback, try and block kicks. So the one incompletion on the entire day was right by the goal line there. That's the pass defended from Amarion Hall. Besides that, Collins 10 of 11.
Sure is. We're eager to see if they're going to have the other quarterback. Cole Alexander, senior. He does have one more game played than Collins, but yet Collins had this game all to himself.
Yeah, haven't seen him yet so far, but something to keep in mind. It was Alex Price last year, the 5-year starter, and one of the more accomplished guys in the MIAA really in recent memory, who led Trine to that 42-29 victory last year. This game has not been as nuts, as absolutely bonkers as that one yet. Josh Nichols in that game last year, 35 of 54. Threw the ball 54 times for 325 yards, 3 total touchdowns rather. Long way to go in that one. But the Nets were also down 28-7 in that ball game in the first quarter. They're no stranger to this position, is my point. Spades back in there. It's actually fielded by Hannafin this time. Hannafin takes it out by the numbers to the right side. And stopped.
Whoa. So, big shove there. Big shove.
Yeah, I think that's going to add on. Bo Skidmore made the tackle officially. We'll see who the penalty is enforced against, though. Don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but perhaps this could take the offense up to about the 45 to start.
Yep, 15 yards gain for the Hornets.
Now, they enforce that and call it just on the kicking team. I'd like to know if it was Skidmore himself on the tackle.
Right.
Nonetheless, irrelevant because the field position here is fantastic. Minute and 41 seconds, though, with rather short time. What are you looking for the Kalamazoo offense to do?
Right. Minute 40 left. You got to be pretty sure what you're doing in this next finish here.
2 receivers each way. Connor Bell in the backfield. Nichols will loft. Hannafin! And a big chunk in the air.
Down right at the 40 there.
Sometimes when it's single coverage with Hannafin, it's just automatic that the ball is going there, right?
Right. He was wide open right there and made that great catch.
Now you got time. I believe this is an official's timeout because Hannafin went out of bounds. Trine making one quick defensive sub. Cal Lockhart in for 48, Blake Lincoln.
Game clock's now set to 1:35.
They add 8 seconds back on. That's huge in the context of getting points before this half's over.
Right. At the 40, this team, they got some time. They see what they do with this next play.
Clark's the number 2 receiver to the right. Nichols looks. Hannafin complete. A couple of cutbacks. He's deadly. And first down.
Wow, great moves from Hannafin. Just moving right, left, through a little ladder movement there. Love it.
The dastardly dead leg. Oh, spooky.
Hey, those ladders are beneficial.
Nichols with a lot of pressure this time. Got to tuck it. Lockhart. And Elijah Boyer probably going to split this one. So now you do see the Nets take their first time out. I was just about to note, and you say it every single week, it sounds trite. It sounds overused, cliched, but you cannot take the timeouts with you, especially with this point in the ballgame being a 3-score game before the half. Not a question in my mind that you had to call this one first.
Right. Minute 17 now. So, everything matters here, and they want to get the biggest bang for their buck.
Speaking of plans, Emory Roberts, the kicker, during the timeout, there was just on the field measuring his steps, walking through them. You could keep the field goal in mind. I don't expect that, especially if Kalamazoo doesn't gain a whole lot more yardage, but especially if they do and they get another first down or 2, it's in play. Nichols on the second down and long. They're going to go with the screen. That's Clark. Clark the cut back to the middle. Good gain out of it. A Nate Clark sighting, his second catch of the day. As Treston Kern brings him down. Nets have a 3rd and medium. Call it 5. Nichols protected and little behind. Spates incomplete.
Yeah, a little cross up between Spates and Clark there, and pass just behind Spates to the right, moving left.
So it looks like no movement to the sideline again. You want to go?
Goodness, 6 to go, 4th down, and I think the Hornets are going for it.
50 seconds left. You're deep enough where you don't maybe have to be too concerned with trying scoring quickly, but you've seen other teams, especially Hope, do that right towards the end of the half. Something to think about, but you pick this up and it's all irrelevant. 4th down, 6. Bunch out to the left. And jumped off sides. That's going to help.
You know, that was a bit of a long period waiting for Nichols to get that ball hike to him. But I think that was, I don't know, maybe that was a little strategy there. What do you think, Tanner?
I think it gives you the opportunity to run this ball because you're now looking at a 4th and 1. I don't know that they necessarily will, but I think you could. You could show something like what they did with Hool a couple of possessions ago, where he motioned into the backfield and then carried the ball. It's a thought. Of course, you have Connor Bell, who is capable of picking up the 1 yard in this situation. You have the 2 timeouts. I would not be opposed at all on a 4th down and maybe a tad less than a yard here to run the ball.
Yeah, I mean, 4th down, 1 to go. They're driving this ball. Let's see what they do.
You're having a really long look at the sideline.
Yep.
Very much prolonged, and you've got 12 seconds on the play clock. Going to have to start thinking pace a little bit. They'll shift. Same look. Bunch to the left. Nichols on the 4th and 1. Pumps, throws, Spates, end zone! Incomplete!
Diving attempt from Spates. Almost had it there.
Nichols is an ultimate gambler, and you understand why you have to take risks in a game like this and a situation like this. That one didn't pay off. There's going to be more chances to do so. It would have helped, though, to crawl back into the game, admittedly. 43 seconds left. Again, we take a breath. We reset up here. It is well defended. It's tight coverage, but it's Spates one-on-one. You really take that matchup, I think, every single day. Thunder offense back out. Now we do see Felder back in the backfield. He'd had a couple of series mostly off. Collins will play fake and throws with a lot of room, but it's incomplete. Intended for Deshaun Jameson. That's one of those balls, similar kind of to the one that Speed made the interception on that was wiped out. It hung up there for a long time.
It did. Seemingly, those decisions back for our quarterbacks, they're just, like, all right, who's open, looking now, and attempted out for that right side of the field.
2nd down, 10. Couple tight end look. Now they will go on the ground. Felder, a lot of room down that sideline. He should have the 1st down, and I think you got a late flag. There's other things that it could be because it looks like it's behind the play, not necessarily on the hit or the tackle that brought him out of bounds. Still waiting on the enforcement. Okay, an offensive penalty. Like I said, I thought that there was a chance just based on where the flag was thrown. So it's actually on Rashawn Street. He just had the touchdown run on the Jet on the last possession. Here, well, it really backs him up. And you do not want to throw an incomplete pass here, stop the clock, right? You don't want Kalamazoo to touch the ball again?
Right. 29 seconds on the clock here.
Collins will ride, now give Felder, and that hole closed quick. Stapleton and Cargill. But will they be content to let this go to the half? With only 15 seconds, it looks like the answer is yes. If you're Hope College, of course the answer was no. At the end of that first half, and they took a shot, and it looks like Trine will not do so.
Right, going into halftime here. Score 28-7, Trine to Hornets here, and we'll see what's entailed for the latter half here.
Yeah, we'll give a brief flashback of how we got here. Kalamazoo scored on their second offensive possession. It was Josh Nichols to, well, you might have heard of this guy. You might have heard this one before, Lucas Hannafin. Hannafin in that first half, 5 catches for 85 yards and a touchdown. For so many guys, that is an outstanding full game. For some guys,
right.
it's multiple games of production. That's just the expectation that Hannafin has set. Nate Clark, a couple of catches as well. He's got 2 for 21. Nichols, 11 of 18. 130 through the air, a touchdown, and the long of 45 yards to Hannafin on that long catch and run touchdown. And the numbers for Ivan Collins from that first half, well, I think they're really, really good.
They are 83% completion with attempts, 10 for 12, 122 yards, 1 touchdown, and that 44-yard long pass. Burris having a game, 69 yards, averaging 17 per handle. That's crazy. Wow. And 1 touchdown for him as well.
Yeah, he had that long catch of 44. Ground game, of course, been working for Trine and Felder. 15 carries in the half, gained 62 yards and a couple of touchdowns. The one other rushing touchdown was Rashawn Street on that jet. Add it all up, 28-7. Nets, long way to go. They've been here before, especially against this Trine team. The familiarity is there. The storylines are set up. Now, what are you going to do about it here for Senior Day? We'll find out in the second half. We'll be back in a few minutes. I'm Tanner White. She's Julia Rambo. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll be back in just moments here for the second half.
Thank you for listening to the internet broadcast of Kalamazoo College Athletics. Today's game is starting in just a few minutes, and pregame coverage will start in just a moment. Thank you for listening to Kalamazoo College Athletics. Thank you for listening to the internet broadcast of Kalamazoo College Athletics. Today's game is starting in just a few minutes, and pregame coverage will start in just a moment. Thank you for listening to Kalamazoo College Athletics. you for listening to the internet broadcast of Kalamazoo College Athletics. Today's game is starting in just a few minutes, and pregame coverage will start in just a moment. Thank you for listening to Kalamazoo College Athletics. Thank you for listening to the internet broadcast of Kalamazoo College Athletics. Today's game is starting in just a few minutes, and pregame coverage will start in just a moment. Thank you for listening to Kalamazoo College Athletics. Thank you for listening to the internet broadcast of Kalamazoo College Athletics. Today's game is starting in just a few minutes, and pregame coverage will start in just a moment. Thank you for listening to Kalamazoo College Athletics. Thank you for listening to the internet broadcast of Kalamazoo College Athletics. Today's game is starting in just a few minutes, and pregame coverage will start in just a moment. Thank you for listening to Kalamazoo College Athletics. for listening to the internet broadcast of Kalamazoo College Athletics. Today's game is starting in just a few minutes, and pregame coverage will start in just a moment. Thank you for listening to Kalamazoo College Athletics. Thank you for listening to the internet broadcast of Kalamazoo College Athletics. Today's game is starting in just a few minutes, and pregame coverage will start in just a moment. Thank you for listening to Kalamazoo College Athletics. Thank you for listening to the internet broadcast of Kalamazoo College Athletics. Today's game is starting in just a few minutes, and pregame coverage will start in just a moment. Thank you for listening to Kalamazoo College Athletics. Thank you for listening to the internet broadcast of Kalamazoo College Athletics. Today's game is starting in just a few minutes, and pregame coverage will start in just a moment. Thank you for listening to Kalamazoo College Athletics. Thank you for listening to the internet broadcast of Kalamazoo College Athletics. Today's game is starting in just a few minutes, and pregame coverage will start in just a moment. Thank you for listening to Kalamazoo College Athletics. Thank you for listening to the internet broadcast of Kalamazoo College Athletics. Today's game is starting in just a few minutes, and pregame coverage will start in just a moment. Thank you for listening to Kalamazoo College Athletics. Thank you for listening to the internet broadcast of Kalamazoo College Athletics. Today's game is starting in just a few minutes, and pregame coverage will start in just a moment. Thank you for listening to Kalamazoo College Athletics.
And we are back for half number 2. Thanks so much for your patience. Tanner White, Julia Rambo coming out here for the second half. It's the Trine Thunder and the Kalamazoo Hornets. Trine will be kicking off here for the second half. Coming right now from the left hash, Jonas Spates is back. He's going to field this one on the fly for Kalamazoo. Hool, the off returner, picks up a little bit of a block. Spates into a pile. He's dragging bodies. Should be out to about the 27, 28-yard line. Better than most of these starting field positions for Kalamazoo so far this year. Spates is a little bit slow to get off of the pile. Bo Lincoln is in on the special teams tackle. 6 for the Thunder. A freshman goes 6 foot 185 out of Olivet. We'll talk about Olivet in just a moment because we got a whole bunch of MIAA action today. First, we got the Nets' first snap from scrimmage here for the second half. A little bit of early movement. No calls here. They're going to run behind Wrigley. This is Connor Bell. Wrigley with a bully job. And a first down and more.
And that's a first down.
Tell me you saw Wrigley from that left tackle spot. Just give punishment out there.
Yep.
Yeah, I think you've got to circle this guy and say maybe we'll run more behind him here in the second half. Oh, man. The Nets will put a bunch out to the left. Ball's on the right hash. Nichols, first throw attempt here for the second half. He pivots and now got Hannafin with space. Plus, I think you got a flag down in the pocket. Let's sort this out. 48 Blake Lincoln, the outside linebacker. I'm thinking gave a little bit of extra English to Nichols back there. And while we have a brief moment, you want to give us the scores from around the MIAA?
I sure do. All right, we have Hope and Olivet 41-0 at halftime. Hope has taken advantage of that game. Albion tied with Calvin 21-21. Alma 24, Adrian 7, all at halftime here.
So the two top teams, the consensus teams that we had a feeling even coming into the year would be there, are where, for the most part, they want to be. Almost one conference loss, unsurprisingly, to Hope. Now, as they announce this penalty, we've got the roughing the passer, as we thought, tacked on, and that is a monster shift in field position. Momentum might be wearing the black and orange right now. Hornets offense down to the 30. And early movement again. Flag down. Nichols has a free play. And it is overthrown, intercepted. However, again, this will come back. So you might see some heroics here. But no matter what the case is, this interception will not stand in all likelihood. Hannafin stumbled a little bit at the top of the route. I think that was part of it. Well, is Trine going to live? Are they going to survive through this, committing this pace of penalties? If you had to speculate, I think it's really dangerous right now. It's a 1st down and 5 after the offside on that right edge. Hornets are going to go counter. Bell got a little bit of room. He is close to that 1st down marker. Good job falling forward. He was following the right guard, Shemwell, as well as the right tackle, 75, Posey. Excuse me, Mario Pomorski, the freshman right tackle. Pomorski, Shemwell, Munger, all on that right side, getting some movement right now. Nichols boots on the 2nd and short. He wants to throw back. That's all covered up. Now he'll go for Bell for the end zone, and knocked away. Man, there's a lot to sort out here. You got the defender who made the deflection down. You've still got a 3rd and really short. Josh is looking for it all. You saw the 4th down on the Nets' final possession of the first half when he threw to the end zone for Spates. If they connect on that one and this last one to Bell, it's a 1-score ball game. They are so close, it was what I mean to say. You look up and it's a 21-point game. You say, well, it feels like we're far away. In reality, I don't think so. Not so much.
Right, based on this momentum we're seeing here from the Hornets, they're into play. They're definitely into play. I mean, this last half of the season for Senior Day, they're laying it out.
You got Hannafin in the backfield. Now they'll shift. They did this on the goal line against Alma before, and it was the play Sheldon Riley scored on to go out. Bell will pick up the 1st down. Not by a ton. It's enough. That has been kind of emblematic of the run game most of the season, right? You saw it probably in the Calvin game. I know that you saw it in the Alma game, and it was Sheldon Riley himself carrying the bulk of the time.
It was.
They'll play fake, get it out quick. Clark. And the one-on-one, did he spin out? The forward progress? Oh, they killed the play. Clark would have been into the end zone. Are we doomed to have controversy a little bit too often today?
Lots of words from the stands here.
Yeah, Clark looked even and pumped up the sideline a little bit. Oh, it would have likely been a touchdown on a breakaway there. Instead, forward progress ruled for no gain. 3-by-2, empty.
Flag on the play there.
And before we get started, looks like it's going to back him up 5. And now the Hornet offense backed up. It's the left guard, Alex Russell. He has one of the most difficult jobs on this team. You know, 6 foot 230. People look at that and they think he's an undersized guard in the middle. the size really has, Kalamazoo's given up size on the offensive front for a while. And they're without their starting guard, C.J. Aldred. Nichols, quick, screen complete for Bell. Bell will drag a few. Shemuel out there leading. Should be back beyond the original line of scrimmage.
Nice sportsmanlike conduct there from Trine, picking up Connor there. Love to see that.
Yeah, you don't always get that. That can be hit or miss.
Right.
The familiarity, well, it really breeds contempt in the conference. And you've played so many conference games, you exactly know what that's like, right?
I do.
You got Clark and Spates both saying, hey, who's on the line here, who's off? They had a little bit of a who's on first routine going. Tight splits for all the receivers. Nichols booting out to his right. And complete for Hool. Look at the marker. It's going to be really close. Well, Paul, our PA guy, has just told them to move the chains. Oh, no, they're short. And the net's going to sneak it. The pile moved backwards, but you've got a flag out on top. Oh, man. So I think with the yardage of the sneak, that was almost certainly enough for the first down, right, before forward progress. What is the penalty, though? Is it defensively to add on to the gain? Oh, yeah, it is.
Hornets are happy.
Oh, that's Ridge Howard. Gave one little get that out of here. I think he just tried to punt the decision away, kind of mimed a punt. But that's half the distance. Horse collar after the QB sneak. Again, the sneak would have been enough for the yardage anyway. Well, Nets got a golden opportunity here. First down, goal, 5-yard line. Nichols with trips to the left. Gonna go speed option. Toss for Bell. In there. Swimwear. Following Cody Wrigley. That's a good choice. The offensive line moving people around right now, right?
Sure are. Giving that push.
They're gonna go Roberts for the extra point. It's been a struggle at times this year. I'm not going to go ahead and jinx it until we get this up and through the posts.
I know.
Roberts, extra point coming. Kick up and good.
And liner right in there.
That had been, which again, I waited until this thing went through. It had been the one complaint on special teams, and it had actually seen 4 Kalamazoo kicks get blocked this year. 3 extra points plus a field goal. It was the trajectory of kicks. I talked with Zach Metz about it, how they were kind of addressing that at practice. They made some kicker changes and had sat Roberts a couple of different times throughout the year. As he makes that small adjustment, again, that last one a little bit more of a lower line drive kick, but as he made that small adjustment to raise the trajectory a little bit, it's changed the entire special teams dynamic. Did you also feel in the Alma game where Kalamazoo really gained advantages on special teams?
Right. We had some great kicks there, too.
And it starts with your kicker every time, but it's everything. You can get hidden yardage in the form of your return game, in the form of your kick coverage, right? Do you pin the other team deep? Do you have great punts like they got from Duggins and Jonah Spates back in the Alma game? And it takes all of that to win a football game. Special teams, it is so much more common to win and lose a game on special teams than people ever realize. I want to keep advocating for it because that's just how strong I feel about it. And that is why Coach Zorbo and I speak the same language. He feels exactly the same way about special teams that I do. And I personally love it. Speaking of, Roberts to kick off. Fielded in the air. That's Street. Got plenty of time to set it up. Street. And danger down the sideline. The cutback. This should be out to about the 35.
What a run by Street.
You got Zach Sykes coming out of the pile there. He was getting shoved a little late. Roberts had a hand on him, but you really don't want your kicker making too many special teams tackles. That was another thing that we saw in the Alma game that I thought was maybe the one thing we want to clean up. when Alma went with that reverse on their kickoff unit, Roberts ended up making the tackle, and I thought, yeah, you'd like to see that return shut down much shallower where your kicker doesn't have to come up there and make that tackle.
Right.
Ball's actually all the way out to the 33. Connor Bell on the last rushing touchdown for the Nets from 5 yards out. They've now got 14 carries for just 17 yards, but again, hasn't been pretty. It's been effective. That's what we know. Trine will start here their first possession of the second half. They're going to run behind the tight end. Felder, jump cut out to the right. Cargill, Stapleton, a swarm. And Garrison to finish it off. The starting lineup right back out there, the #1 defense, Gabe Myers and Alex Pep in your corners, Jackson Mitchell and Kamani Jones your safeties. The linebacking core so outstanding. It's Stapleton, Garrison, Cargill, as well as Dynas. They're going to bring Dynas from the boundary. They'll throw quick. Burris got some room, got the first down. Burris continues to be that favorite target.
Taken down by Alex Pepin there.
Numbers on Burris right now, that's catch number 5. He's their leading receiver, should be in the neighborhood of about 81 yards on the day. First down, 10. Collins will throw up the seam. He drilled it in there. Touchdown, Thunder. The Lightning, the Thunder, it's striking, and it's at Burris right now.
Yeah, huge game for Burris, as always, seemingly for Trine.
2 touchdowns on the day. This is 9-12 of the third quarter. Extra point up, plenty good. That one had extra mustard on it. Anthony Hentz tacks one on, 35-14. Ivan Collins now 2 touchdowns in the air, 12 of 14 throwing the football, 86%. Kalamazoo offense gonna head back out. They scored quickly. Trine answers pretty quick. Typically the Thunder would almost want a slower drive in that situation. But as there are 3 scores to the good, maybe they'll take it this time. We always talk about the clock. People say the clock is your only enemy. You have an opponent in front of you, right? But you absolutely respect every opponent, because when you don't, we've seen, right? Things get out of hand and it gets chippy. We've seen that before in Angel. But the clock, your enemy all the time. That's going to be the case in this one. It was the case a little bit in the Alma game when Kalamazoo got a little bit of momentum in the second half, especially after Sheldon Riley departed that one with the injury. Kalamazoo scored the touchdown at that time. It was a 25-point game. You thought, well, things are starting to turn around and the atmosphere feels a little bit different, but you're going to need another outstanding half of football. Coach Zorbo always talks as well about playing a full 60 minutes of their best football and says they probably haven't done that arguably this year. If you're going to do it, it's got to start right now. It will start with a return for Hool. Hool gathers in the air, and with hesitation, Hool's kind of getting the helmet yanked off there. It's in a huge pile, so I don't know that anybody's really going to see it, but it's something that we, from our unique vantage point, are able to take a look at. And I think you've got a member of the Thunder down for a moment. Didn't take long. Now he's going to be back up.
Yeah, also touching on Sheldon Riley from our last week's game. Obviously, we know that he was, taken off, and unfortunately, he did have surgery on an ankle, but he is doing well. Spoke with him the other day, and keeping him in our thoughts. But on a happy note, he was voted the Student Athletic Advisory Committee SAC Hornet of the Week for Kalamazoo College, and that was great to see, as well-deserved, fantastic game before he was taken off.
Bell, jump cut, He'll hit it now for 4 or 5 yards. And feel free to bring us a little bit of the numbers from Riley, what he did in that game, because the impact that he was having, as I talked with Coach Zorba before the game, he said he was very much on pace for a career, a legacy game.
Right. 58 rushing yards and 11 carries, 1 rushing touchdown against that game in Alma.
Nichols pump fakes. Now he's going to take the shot. Hannafin is mugged and flags out.
Riley also currently leads the Hornets for this season for 408 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns. Pretty spectacular.
So this is exactly that pass interference rule that I talked about in the first half cropping up. It is presumably less than 15 yards down the field based on where that mark is. So hence it was announced as a spot foul. They'll take it right there now at the 39. So you'd almost wish that Josh would sling that thing a little bit deeper, give Hannafin some room to run under it. Nonetheless, the automatic first down. Movement again with the Thunder. Oh, they can't time up this snap count. It's Chase Smith. He's the defensive tackle in there. He's lined up over the freshman left guard, Russell. Tight end Clark off to the left with a couple receivers that way. Nichols will look left. Nichols going for it all. Hannafin! And another! Chalk one more. The penalty yardage could be astounding before this game's over.
Yes.
You've got another one coming in there. I mean, there is 3 flags all on the... Hey, they've got it covered, though, right?
Yeah, passing interference on Rashawn Street there.
And it's still Hannafin being targeted so often. I kind of mentioned this
Right.
to you a little bit at the half. He has been the main target for so long throughout the season, right? Third in the MIAA, in receiving yards, and all these touchdowns, had the long yardage today. At some point, what do you expect trying to do with coverage, and does it give other guys opportunities?
Right. I mean, we're driving that ball to Hannafin, so let's see if we'll see a change.
Nichols will play fake, take another shot up the seam, and instant replay.
Hannafin is stoked after that one. He knows right away that that's passing interference.
I see you stoked. I raised you incensed. Irate. This guy is going to explode. If there is a player to not make angry, now first I will note Chance Strickland from Hope, their running back, the MIAA leader in touchdowns, 17 of them. But if there is a number 2 guy in the entire MIAA to not make angry, I think it's Hannafin. It's going to be back-to-back pass interferences in almost all likelihood.
I mean, we see we're throwing that ball to him. And hearing about this play here.
So I didn't even notice. We got a flag down back at the 46 of
Wow.
Kalamazoo, which, by the way, that flag is still down there. He's going to have a long run.
Oh,
for this guy
there he
to-
goes.
Yeah. Again, getting his cardio in there, but he will scoop it. That's the head referee. And so 2 different penalties. First, the pass interference, then the roughing the passer, depending on, well, ordinally how you want to put those 2. But, whoa.
Yeah. Looking at Josh Nichols, I mean, he's just firing it there. He knows that's good. I mean, second time, third time the charm. I mean, passing interference keeps happening. Keep passing it. Keep getting those further down, moving up.
Look at this
chain's
press.
moving.
Look at the press coverage on Spates down bottom, 1-on-1. Motion Yankee way in. They'll toss it out. They ran this play earlier. Bell, after a cutback, he got walloped a little bit. It's a toss crack the second time that they've shown it. Everybody in tight, and you want to get that a little bit further out on the edge, get everybody sealed inward, as it were, and it's now announced as a gain of 1. Worthwhile, I think, to continue sneaking the run in as you get a chance, but I think this game's going to be won in the air, down 3 scores. Spates will motion in. Nichols, design rollout. He drills it in there. Oh, man.
Completed pass to Hannafin there.
I talked about tight windows in the
Yeah.
Alma game last week.
Very.
That's one of the tightest we've seen, I mean, ever attempted from Josh, and he is a gambler.
Right.
Clark on the line of scrimmage, 3 receivers. Nichols another, designed rollout, throws back. Clark, and incomplete. It's close, and I think you're miming to me as well. You thought that could have been one more interference
I was
call.
thinking that as well, but I mean, guess not. In the beginning of the game, we were thinking the same thing there.
It's the senior safety, Tanner Goff, down there. It's a difficult assignment to cover those tight ends one-on-one, but Goff did a good job holding up there. That's on the second down. They'll try and sneak it in, and no luck. Cam McCarver blew that thing up for a loss of 2. Oh, man, they might even mark that loss of 3 or more. This is a 3rd and long, kind of out of nowhere.
See what Nichols decides here, whether he's going to go long or not.
Trips to the left with a long way to go. Nichols ducks under at first, now sacked.
Did not have very much time to even pass that ball, Tanner, did he?
I wonder the decision here. It's McCarver again, by the way. That's phenomenal back-to-back plays. Tackle for loss into a sack. I think the offense is staying out there because it's one of those you have to question the field goal distance. It'd be 40-plus from this range. It would be beyond the long for Roberts on the year. This offense is still out there.
They're going for it. Here we go, Hornets.
With 16 to go. Nichols had to flush right away. Holds on, lofts it up. And intercepted. The knee in the end zone for the touchback. Frederick Griffin. You think about the field position. In fact, Kalamazoo gains some field position by throwing that interception. As Nichols runs out of space and time there, it is, in all likelihood, literally worse to throw the incompletion there. But not by a whole lot. It's close to a wash, I suppose.
Right, right.
It is the first turnover for the day for him, and it does put Trine back out on offense, but they start at the 20.
Just under 6 minutes left in this third quarter.
Trine will start with 3 wide receivers out to their right. They'll run Felder that way with a couple big bodies out in front. Cargill, Gacky, now everybody swarming. You're going to credit the stop to Jennings. And I love that. As a former defensive lineman, I always have to advocate for my guys, right? I have to tell you that I think the defensive line are the guys that should be racking up more of the stats, especially when we're not sure. You say, well, I assume that it's just the big guys in the middle there. They'll credit him with 2 yards there on the first down carry, Salim Felder. Felder still off the hip of Collins. Collins, play action, rolls, got some room. Collins, going to be close on that first down.
Collins continues to show his athleticism, doesn't he?
It starts with the patience to me.
Right.
I understand, yes,
Yes.
he is an elite athlete. He is something of a converted running back, right? And a guy that maybe wasn't expecting to get tons of quarterback reps this year. Obviously performed well in this one and throughout the year has shown the flashes. But the patience first to be able to go through all the reads and then finally come back to, well, okay, my option is to scramble. That is textbook. 3rd down and short. They'll try and pick it up on the ground. They move the pile just enough. Should be first down.
Now, Tanner, do you think we're going to see Cole Alexander in this game?
I think with one more score before this quarter is over, most likely yes.
Yeah.
It will be about, management a little bit, but more so rewarding Alexander for the work that he's done for the year, for the legacy, for the history, a little bit for the stats, but that's very much towards the back of your mind. It's about winning the ball game still.
Right.
But I think we may be approaching that point. 2 tight ends on the line to the right. They'll flip out a bubble to the left. A couple more slip tackles, and that's another first down.
Yeah, Street continues to use those moves.
Ballabuck eventually now being helped up, and that's again, the sportsmanship you mentioned. It's William Walleen to go help him up. He's the left guard that way. Thunder picking up a couple of back-to-back first downs, and their drive is rolling. Collins from pistol. Fakes, steps up, slipped the sack, ball's out, and now he'll just dive on it.
Yeah, almost grabbed that ankle of Collins there.
It was Janinga from the nose spot. It's just so difficult, and I was fortunate to never have to play with this, but that monster club on the left hand of Janinga, that thing is, you know, it can be something of a weapon. We usually wouldn't say that, but it is also much more difficult to grasp, especially quarterbacks in the pocket. 3x2, empty. And gosh, I thought you had a late receiver leaving. Ball a buck. Now Janinga to clean it up. Club gang.
I think he's pointing to his family in the stands there. Love that.
Well, I shouted out Bryce Ballabug's grandma last week. Hopefully she's here this week. But Grandma, just one more time, Bryce wanted to say, hey, thanks for watching. And, you know, very proud of him, I'm sure. What a monster play there. It definitely helps to get this offense off the field. But you got to do it on the third down, too. And they're going to stick in empty here. Interesting. Garrison, the linebacker, he's walked up for Kalamazoo, now backs out. Dynas now will walk up and back out. It's street, complete, got about half, but fourth down. Still looking for motion, and now the punt team.
Yep. I was thinking the same thing.
It would be, I think, too much of a gamble. I understand if you could get it that it would go closer to putting this game away, but what you've seen from the Kalamazoo offense, what you've seen from Josh Nichols for, well, 5 years now, it tells you they can score really quickly.
Right.
Spates will be back. They're going back with him as the punt returner. Nets dancing around there. Maybe. Could bring some pressure. And indeed they don't. Just one more thing to think about. This is off the side of the foot. Spates will catch it. Spates slips a couple of tackles. Out to the numbers. And that is a long way to run for not really a lot of gain.
Right. Moving laterally there, but completion there. So
You had the pile up too. I just wanted to know, were we going to get one more flag out here? It was going to start getting very problematic in terms of how the officials manage the game because, well, that's a huge part of their job. Offense back out. They've officially marked it at the 9-yard line. 91 yards to go.
Yep.
Nichols will put it into the belly of Connor Bell. He's got a lot of room to run. Bell! Bell's at the 40. Hawked, but a huge chunk on the ground.
Jordan Williams on that tackle, but great run for Connor Bell.
It's the longest play of the day. Man, that's 56 on the ground. That's the longest run of the season. Here I was thinking it would be Sheldon Riley and that his long run, 45, would stand up. Connor Bell, not to be outdone. Nets are back on the ball, 1st and 10. They'll motion out. Zekman is the widest receiver that way. Motion back in to get him a running start. Nichols out, complete. James might lose yardage.
Bryce Furman on that tackle. A little bit of a loss, believed.
It's close on the forward progress. Based on where the down markers are, of course, we'll have to flip sides and then we'll see. I would love to see no gain, of course.
Right.
But a little bit partial, naturally.
Yeah.
And on the scoreboard right now, we're showing 2nd and 12. Again, we got to get those down markers flipped, but we got another little quarter break to do it. So we'll throw up the 4s again. You've seen those with the 4 fingers on each hand, signifying that we're at the 4th quarter. The Kalamazoo offense A 56-yard run. One of the biggest shots in the arm I can recall on this entire season. You've got a long way to go. You've had the uphill battle already in this ball game, but a play like that can have unbelievable implications.
Momentous, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the entire rest of your career now for our 20 seniors here is 15 minutes of football.
Right. I mean, 15 minutes. You can do a lot in that time, can't you, Tanner?
Yeah, been there, done that. But it starts with a 2nd and 12 when they come out of the quarter break. They will rule that a bit of a loss on the completion underneath for Jacquez James. James is still going to be in there right now. He's going to be the tight end off the ball to the right-hand side. Connor Bell, after the 56-yard run, back out there as well, flanking Nichols. Hannafin, Spates, your receivers to the right. Aaron Zeckman, soloed to the left. One-on-one shown with Frederick Griffin out there. He was the one who had the interception on Kalamazoo's last possession in the end zone.
Andrew Zeckman got some pretty cool shoes there.
And one more time, Thunder gonna move. It's Elijah Boyer. The penalties are astounding.
Seems like Mike was off there. Whoof.
Yeah, you're looking at the penalty yardage. And, well, what stands out to you?
Trine, 11 penalties, 111 yards.
It is
Wow.
simply difficult to win a football game doing that. Now,
Right.
they're still in position here, and they can hold on to this lead, but you absolutely have to clean it up for 15 more minutes.
Right.
Nichols will fake, try to keep it himself, and this is going backwards. That is the only maybe designed run that we've seen for Nichols on the day. You had one speed option where he pitched it out for Bell. If that was the design, I'm a bit surprised. Granted, Josh was running around fabulously well in the Alma game, but those were almost all on scrambles when the play kind of broke down. Backed up again here. They'll call it 3rd and 12. Nichols got some time. He's got James. It's underthrown, intercepted. And a long return down the sideline. Nichols the last one with a chance. It's to the house. You had a flag down late at about the 10-yard line. If that stands, it's Daniel Boudoir with 2 pick sixes. Let me just take a moment and breathe and sort all of this out. In fact, I thought we had on the PA announced that it was Boudoir. I thought it was Konstantin Thrasavoulou. I had seen one from the Thunder. We'll sort it out in just a moment. The flag now has been moved to about the 14-yard line. There is so much to talk about here. You just see the head linesman is now talking to Coach Zorbo. The defense is out there for Kalamazoo. And let's hear it. Well, I'll sort it all out for you, give you my treatise, my senior thesis, it seems. So, wipe out the touchdown, interception stands, a block below the waist, which was on one of the Kalamazoo linemen, Cody Wrigley. As I thought, that one was enforced. There was a spot of the foul on that. There was then a dead ball on Thrasavoulou on the return, who afterward hit the Amon-Ra St. Brown, if you've seen that, the headstand celebration.
I love that one.
On the sideline. It's so awesome.
So awesome.
But multiple flags enforced. They're actually now a little bit backed up, all things considered. They'll start at their own 40-yard line. The one thing is the interception stance. They'll throw a bubble complete. Real short yardage. Olivier, good stop. Okay. That's everything for the play. You got it? If I quiz you, would you think you get, 75%? Would you get a passing grade?
I'd hope so. Gosh, I know. I'm trying to grasp all that.
Yeah, it is a extremely complicated scoring decision. I want to just give hats off to Madison Groth and Steve Whiting to our right for keeping track of all of that down there that happened during the play.
Sure are. Great team we have here.
2nd and 9, they'll motion the tight end in, and they're still launching. Collins over the middle, caught! Jones to knock it down, but Jermaine Williams, another first down catch.
Big gain there for the Thunder.
Olivier is hustling off. You've got Dynas right now. Looks like he's going to be the X-linebacker on the line of scrimmage. Cargill and Garrison, your inside backers, and Stapleton the other way at that nickel linebacker spot.
Collins at quarterback, 14 for 16 currently. Attempts incomplete.
Yeah, he's having a whale of a game. He'll step up one more time. Throws short, complete again for Williams, but you got 2 flags down. This is typically in the pocket in the area of holding. We'll see if they back him up here. Hopefully this is a much easier and shorter explanation, frankly.
Once again, another penalty for the Thunder.
Yeah, the numbers are going to look similar to the Calvin game, where Calvin, I believe, had 20 accepted penalties.
Wow.
A almost nonsensical number, and still, that game ended up being 1 score. As it currently sits, again, what stands out to you about the penalty numbers?
I mean,
the disparity, perhaps?
Goodness. 5 penalties for the Hornets, 35 yards affected. 12 penalties for Trine, but 116 yards affected.
They run Felder, and Cargill should have him for a loss. Hogtied. You don't study a lot of film after the season is over until you get to the next season, right? But I don't think you need much film study to know Raymond Cargill is going to be one of the absolute best players in this league.
Right. I mean, he is solid. He gets the job done.
Thunder, 2nd down, 20 after the hold. Collins still dropping back, and he'll launch again. And how did he make that catch coming back to the ball? That thing's up in the air forever.
You had about 3-4 defensive Kalamazoo men right around that window. Gosh, that was tight.
Owen Hubbard, one of the biggest catches of the day. It's hard to say that, but that just goes so far toward putting this game away. Not quite 1st and goal. Ball's about the 15-yard line. They can get 1 more first down on the drive. They'd probably be wise to do so for clock purposes. Instead, they're going to launch on the double move. Receiver slipped, and that's incomplete. And naturally, if you're that receiver that way, Hubbard, you're going to try and sell it, right? You're going to say, oh, Spencer pushed me down, and it's interference or a hold or something to that degree. I think it's just a turf monster over there.
Gotta love those dang turf monsters.
Look, we have all caught them. When you
Sweep
play
you
long
off
enough,
your feet.
when you play long enough, it's just going to happen. So why pretend like it doesn't, frankly?
Oh, it does. It sure does. Grass, dirt, all the things.
You bet.
Even that court.
Sure. 2nd down, 10. Motion the tight end, right to left. Casper sets up there. Bubble, out for the right. And speed. Now Stapleton. Swarm. For a loss. Another reception for Street on the day. It's going to be 4 catches for him, plus he also had the touchdown run on the jet. That was from 4 yards out. And we're going to have to start thinking about field goal range. Most likely, obviously, should this get to a 4th down, it's probably close to the edge of where they would feel comfortable kicking it. We'll find out real soon. 3rd down, call it 14 to go, a loss of 4. Ivan Collins Steps up, ball's loose, playing patty cake, and they bring down the lineman.
Man.
But late flags, too. You didn't expect this to be a normal football game, right? Because we don't do that here on Angel. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah, Simmons and Collins there. It was a pass. It was a quick pass. Oh, wait, no, it's yours. And back down.
So what I'm guessing here, they might go illegal touching.
Yeah.
In illegal receiver touching the football because it's an offensive lineman.
Right.
Rolling on the field is a fumble recovered by Trine, followed by a dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 9 of the offense. That's a 15-yard penalty.
Another one for Trine there, unsportsmanlike contact.
And it's mostly the dead ball variety. Now, they've had the offsides too, which have hurt a little bit, but this dead ball penalty. So ignore the fact that the lineman ended up with football. They're going to say that was a fumble,
right.
And as Collins regains, then loses possession, sure, the offensive lineman go ahead and recover that thing. Then after the play, the unsportsmanlike goes on Jermaine Williams. Well, now they're way backed up.
Way back.
Yeah, this is 4th down and infinity. Now, I think you have no option but to punt, and that's exactly what we're going to see. Danley Hernandez is coming back out. And Kalamazoo got to really rush that punt return team on. Oh, man. You got to hurry up and make sure you have 11 out there. Hopefully somebody had a chance to count them. They're going to send 2 off. Johnson's on late, lined up at corner.
They got 11.
Man.
Whew.
Here I thought Halloween was done. This is spooky season. And the short punt with backspin is finally covered up by John Orr. I have so many questions. Orr is the long snapper. That's a good job by him to down it. I just saw Jaden Johnson lining up and covering on a punt out there. That is unbelievable. I'm guessing the flag is down in the area of substitution. It would just be very surprising if it weren't, considering all of that scramble of getting everybody on and off, right?
Right. That was quite rushed with the Hornets there, trying to get that punt team on there.
I think the return team is coming back because there should be no reason for it to be the defense. If it is a legal substitution, you're talking just a 5-yard penalty, and in all likelihood, they'll just re-kick it because I still don't think there's any way that they're near field goal range. And if you miss the field goal, the position that you would be giving up is probably too much to risk. Oh, hey, that's a false start on our referee there. We got to tighten that up. So he said at first, substitution infraction.
Yep.
The longest-winded of explanations, but it is just what we've got to do. Okay, substitution infraction, 12 at any point appeared to have been on the field for Kalamazoo. That's probably likely. We have to admit that, just seeing how many bodies were on and off. Now, hopefully, they've got 11. It's just 5 yards and a re-kick from Lee Hernandez. Okay, why not? We'll see if he can pin the Hornets deep here. 4th down, 31 yards to go. That's it. Clock is not running. Lee Hernandez going to roll out, now drop a little bombshell punt down. And this is even shorter. It's fair caught by Spates. But you do gain just a little bit of field position. Kalamazoo will start now at their 15. Meaning it was worth taking the re-kick. The one option that you had, technically, was for trying to decline the illegal substitution penalty or the substitution infraction penalty and not re-kick it, but it looks like they made the right decision by maybe a yard or so of field position. Technically, it matters, so we'll say that was the right call.
Right, in comparison to our last week's game with the Alma, there was quite a few punts right in front of that end zone, wasn't there?
Yeah, and it was Kalamazoo, Spates, and Duggan snapping off beauties.
Yeah.
They're going to motion Hannafin. Set up 2x2. Play fake. Look to him. Caught. Hannafin to get it rolling. You got under 10 minutes to go. I'm guessing tempo is the right thing to do here, right? Getting on the ball?
Right. They gotta keep moving, keep driving forward with this 9 minutes, 30 seconds left.
They'll set up back in doubles. Same look now, but they just lined up in it. And pretty much the same play.
Yeah.
Complete. Hannafin with the spin. And if he stole a first down out of that, that's awesome. I think it's going to be a little bit short. Thrasavulu in on the stop. He had the interception. That had 2 penalties tacked onto it. It took off the pick 6. Eventful. Nichols will throw. Drill it in off the hands. Durbin. I just don't know that you have the option to punt this. I understand it's 4th down and you're very much in your own territory. And some members of the punt team are moving there. Oh, now they're making the call.
They are. I wasn't thinking they were going to do that, honestly. I mean,
it's so tough either way to punt the football away because how much time is Trine going to be able to bleed off? But to go for it, you have to have in your mind that you could get stopped, and then how much even more difficult does it become when Trine's offense starts that close?
right.
We'll say they're in punt formation. Keep that in mind. If you've got tricks in the bag, it won't be happening this snap, but again, keep it in mind. Thrasavulu goes way back there. Stapleton, Olivier, Cargill, everybody. Now, finally, the return goes for a loss. No, I mean everyone. Did you see?
Yeah. I was like, wow. Just kind of twisted and turning out of the way there.
One of the reserve running backs there, Kyler Majorana, is eventually credited with the stop. It's not the tackling effort that you would have liked to see. Frankly, from the first snap, that has been a part of the story.
Right.
You have 8 minutes and 38 seconds to clean that up and probably force a turnover or 2. I think that's roughly in the neighborhood of what it's going to take. Do you agree?
I do. Yeah. 8 minutes left. A little more than that, but this is it. If you want this game, if you want to end, with that pride and that Kalamazoo pride, got to put everything on right here.
Collins keeps it, and he's going backwards. And that's Peyton Aronson. That's a core memory. TFL for the Big Hoss. It is a time when you can start thinking about rotating more seniors through. I think we'll see a little bit more of that. He's going to get mugged here on the sideline.
Lots of love.
Man, yeah. You'll remember that truthfully for the rest of your life. Been there. Symmetrical set, couple of tight ends. We'll try and stretch it out. A good cutback. Felder, not much. 3rd down, and call it maybe 9 or 8 coming up.
Little celebration there.
Yeah, Kamani, a character out there. He's one of those that fits the culture of what this team is going to be. Amarion Hall is another fantastic young corner who fits that. I think almost nobody is so much what the orange and black means, so much what Coach Sorbo wants besides Cargill. Raymond Cargill is just... You go back and watch the film study of this entire year. Animal. He's going to be dropping out now. Collins will roll. He's got lots of room with tons of patience. Throws late. Complete. Williams. Mitchell is trying to say that ball came out. It's incomplete.
It is.
Providence fate. Whoa. You can't plan for that ball to be incomplete. There is a lot of argument to be made on that. You could even have said catch fumble, and it would have still been a 1st down. Oh, boy. Thank your lucky stars. Move on. Kalamazoo hasn't been bringing pressure on the punts. Again, if there is time to pull out the stops, this could be it. They're going to rush it. Great rush, and the punt is low. Spates got out of there. The roll is going to be good. You had Quinn Parpart among the members of the rush team there thinking he should have blocked it.
It was close, too.
Yeah, it's all about the drills that you do in practice each and every single week. It's so easy to check out, to autopilot through those. When you get the chance in the ball game, if you did not flinch in practice all year long, you're a little bit more likely to not flinch in the game here. Parpart, he's just a freshman. He's going to have a lot more opportunity here. At least it's a first year with him. He's a transfer in. And we'll get a note on the Parpart family in a moment here. On the first down, Nichols throws between a couple, Clark and Yankee.
Yes, good friends with Blake Parpart, super senior, fifth-year senior pitcher for Kalamazoo College baseball. And very cool to see his brother join the Kalamazoo College athletics.
Yep, exactly as I wanted to note too. And that is a guy who's going to have a lot more responsibility this year in that Hornets rotation, hopefully. I hope to see him in the starting rotation.
We'll see about that.
Yeah. Nichols flushes. Good block from Bell to keep him clean. He throws late. Clark. And to a knee. Couldn't haul it in.
Just short.
The improv skills for Josh Nichols have treated us to some of the most fantastic highlights, the most impossible completions, explosive plays out of nowhere for 5 years. We haven't today hit enough on that. We haven't really expounded on everything that he's meant. Of course, at the end of this ball game, in another 6 minutes and 38 seconds, we'll get there, but you see just one more flash of it right here. 3rd and 10. Bell in to protect. Nichols going to roll out the other way. Jukes a man. Ball's loose. And recovered. Nets will stick with it. That is the freshman tackle, Pomorski.
Way to get a body on that real quick. Goodness.
That was up for grabs for a while. Pomorski eventually is able to keep it, and it looks like the punt team is out.
Yeah, Trine defense today. Solid, aggressive. Several sacks on the day.
Yeah, if you were able to keep that pick 6 on the board as well, too, it would be not quite best case scenario, but outstanding. And that all comes down to the penalties. That's the thing for them. It's held them back from really putting this away more decisively. This ball is skipped back there. Nichols going to have to take the safety. Snap a little low. It's muffed, and 2 points for the Thunder. Five minutes, 37 seconds left. You feel it, you hear it. The error is out of the place a little bit.
Yep, it is.
Kalamazoo will have to give this away now after the safety. Nichols taking the knee in the end zone. It is the better play, of course. To focus on that, it's another veteran play from Nichols. If you boot that thing around and you further fumble it, then you've got a chance to give up the touchdown, and obviously this is the better case. You've got a couple of options. I believe it looks like Nichols is lining up as the guy who will punt it away right now. This comes from the 20-yard line. Whistle, ready for play. Nichols, boot, going to be collected at the 32. And a fake reverse. Another wrinkle. You got a flag that looks like it's going to bring this back. Nichols makes the tackle. The ankle pick. I think penalties will be the one thing that Trine complains about.
Yeah, once again, we talked about earlier, Nichols making that tackle for the special teams. It's kind of like, oh, didn't want it to get that deep into the field.
It's true. He, as the punter, Roberts, as the kickoff guy, have both been called on a little bit to do that. They had cleaned up special teams a ton coming into this week. Haven't probably performed up to their best standard. Hold is called on 35. Well, interesting. You look at the roster and not a 35 on it.
Nope.
Likelihood, different number there, but we may never know.
Scrunch jerseys, I tell you.
Sure. And some of the guys even come out there crop topping, right? You've seen that. And
They-
when the linemen do it, I think, okay, we got to draw a little bit of a line here.
Hey, you know what? No shame.
As a defensive
shame.
lineman myself, I got to look some of these guys in the eyes and say, guys, just be honest with yourselves. Oh, man. Ivy Collins back out there still to lead the offense, looking to run out the clock. 5 minutes, 27 seconds. Zone running. Felder. He's starting to lean on people. Man, he might have taken that for a first down.
I think he did. Yep, they are moving those chains.
Up until that carry, Felder had been getting 3.6
Yeah.
on average. I mean, that is, it's really as good as you can ask for a hard-nosed football team that loves to run the ball like this.
Right.
Man, that goes for just over 10 on the first down. Their long carry for the day is still only 24 yards. Kalamazoo had the 56-yarder from
Right.
Connor Bell.
Right.
But they're getting outrushed big time right now. Another first down and 10. They're going to probably stick in 2 and 3 tight end sets. That's what they've got here with 2 of them. Felder jump cut, went back to the middle. Gacky and Olivier.
Yeah, looking at rushing yards for Kalamazoo College. 96 yards for Connor Bell.
And that is a number that you would absolutely be thrilled about. If you said coming into this game you were going to get 96 yards from Connor Bell, you would probably assume that the whole offensive output would be
Right.
a little bit better.
Right.
But of course, it's turnovers, it's situational 3rd and 4th downs and red zone, that kind of thing.
Right.
2 tight ends off to the right. They'll run that way. Furman, he spins. He's moving piles.
The strength. Gosh, I have not been in a big pile like that, but the power and the strength you have to push through that, just one guy and 4 guys tackling it, couldn't imagine.
It's been Felder the entire season. It's also been Felder today. Furman came in with only 21 carries on the year, but kind of looking to him maybe as a closer. Yeah, bodies rather rotating in at tight end and receiver. Now they set up with a 3rd down and 3 to go. And there we go, RPO, it's complete. First down. I did not have a pass on the bingo board for my options on what they might have run there.
I don't think Kalamazoo was expecting that either.
It is a low-risk throw for the most part. The worst thing that could happen probably was just an incompletion, especially if you throw that ball out toward the sideline. But, yeah, just didn't expect it. 2 minutes, 40 seconds in the ballgame. They'll take the long look. They'll bleed more play clock. It now shows 10 seconds. And they have officially made the switch at quarterback. Oh, and it's loose! The great irony. As soon as they make the quarterback change.
Right. Yeah, and that is Gillette.
Yeah, it's 15. James Gillette in there. He had the completion, and it was Thomas Würzburg on that RPO when they completed the pass on the 3rd down. It's a 2nd and 11. We've reached the 2-minute timeout here in the 4th quarter. Well, this is a ball game by name, but it's 37-14 here as you look up. In all likelihood, Kalamazoo, I think, has to focus on, obviously getting the stops here, but I think they will also use timeouts defensively if they are in any way able to prevent a first down. Just to have that one more drive for the legacy, for the history, for everything else that's on the line, for a group of 20 seniors.
Right.
Do you find that likely, or do you think that they'll be willing to, especially if a first down's given up here, to let the clock run?
You know, I'm thinking the former.
Okay.
I'm not thinking they're going to let that clock run. I mean, and I'm also looking to see, some of our guys. I mean, last game, I'm hoping to see some big stuff from, Spates and Yankee. I mean, I'm eager to see that.
Okay. Well, we're going to find out really, really soon. Brennan Panucci, Nolan Jennings, Bryce Ballabuck. That's your 3-down linemen. Mitchell, Dynas, Stapleton.
Yeah, that was just on the offensive side.
Yeah, of course. Ballabuck slipped that first tackle. A pile up. Cargill, Dynas. He came out of there with the football. It's ruled dead.
Oh, he was excited, though.
That is a guy who will follow you to the ends of the earth. A gladiator. That's Carson Dynas.
Yeah, gosh. Heck of a game.
Career, as I noted earlier in the ballgame.
Exactly. Such a pivotal person here on this team.
The Kalamazoo defense did call the timeout exactly as I thought here. The thought being, of course, you're going to get the football one more time if there is any way to get a stop on this third down. My last question, do we get a Zach Metz sighting at quarterback?
That's what I was hoping. I mean, I understand that, minute 53 left, and we do want to score, but why not throw somebody else in? I mean, unfortunately we've had 6 sacks today. I mean, why not give Zach Metz a chance? He's a senior. I don't believe he's playing another fall. He is not. So, I think this is a great opportunity for him to step in here for his last game, especially for all, seniors that, don't normally get a ton of playing time.
We will again find out really soon. That gain went for about 4 yards there on the second. They've got 7 more yards to go here. Furman in the backfield. And they'll throw this thing. They're taking the shot. Intercept. Oh, it's incomplete.
Just incomplete coming down there. Had it in his hands.
So, you know what Speed is thinking. I've had 2 interceptions. One that was wiped out on the penalty. That one, I would have liked to. He's holding his helmet in his hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Speed, again, had an interception in the Trine game last year. It's all about picking your teammates up right now.
Right.
It's about love, faith, belief. Coach Zorbo mentioned those in no uncertain terms before the Hope game to me. And out of sight, out of mind, because you're getting the ball back one more time. Lee Hernandez on to punt. They'll go with the hold-up return one more time. Spates, fair catch. 80 yards from one more piece of history.
I'm eager to see what these Hornets do. I mean, I know how emotional it can be knowing your last game is up here, and let's see who our quarterback is. And who is it, Tanner?
Exactly. We have a Zach Metz sighting. You've got 80 yards to go, but the stage is set. Metz will roll out. He pumps once. He lofts. He's high, intercepted. Yankee makes the tackle. Check for flags, and that should stick.
Yeah, not what Metz wanted there, but you could see where he was going. I mean, he had the right idea.
It's all about just being juiced up, just trying everything you can for that one last moment, that last gasp, and it looks like that will be the last touch for the offense. 1:28 seconds. For one side, it's the best formation in football. For the other side, you know what it feels like, right? But the victory formation. You got 3 kneel downs here, and Kalamazoo now will hold on to the timeouts.
2 timeouts left for the Hornets.
Yeah, they're going to sit on these, and I think that is the sportsmanly thing to do. You understand why. A previously bottom of the league defense had allowed the most points and the most yards coming into play today. And the performance that they put on, I think you've got to focus on more than anybody else. The Trine offense, of course, got the job done. Were efficient, effective. They made the right plays, especially Ivan Collins. But the Trine defense, unreal. Remember, they had a pick 6 wiped out. They could have scored more points on defense here.
I know.
One final kneel down, and that's your ball game. Final score, Thunder 37 and the Hornets 14.
Lots of hugs down there on the field as hands are being shaken with Trine and the Hornets.
I, again, have been in this situation. I know what it's all about. You have a lot to feel. There's so many feelings to get into, but you kind of don't have the ability and the time to process them yet.
No.
In fact, for me, it took weeks. It maybe even took until something like coming back from winter break. You meet with Coach Zorbo, you have sort of an exit interview, and this is a personal issue to me, but I do want to talk about it because, again, I know exactly what this is like. The emotions that guys let out in that final meeting with Zorbo, the things that they tell Coach about their time that they appreciated, that they learned, what they feel that they contributed, what the program needs going forward. It's sort of surreal. There's so much to digest afterwards. And after the game, immediately after the game in this kind of scenario, is not really the time for it. What it is the time for, absolute, unadulterated joy and appreciation. Again, I've been here. I know exactly what it's like, and I think you're going to see more joy than you would expect given the circumstances. But that's simply what this senior class, with all 20 of them, that's the impact that they've had. Do you have any other further words on it, Julia? Any words that you want to say about the ball game today? We will recap stats in a moment.
Yeah, I mean, I know what it's like to, lose your seniors as well. I mean, we haven't even touched on, what these guys have left for the team that's for the future. It's when you leave such big holes, I mean, you got to fill them. You're looking forward, but that's what's so amazing about an impact these guys are making, because obviously you're going to have guys coming in and they're going to say, you know what? I want to be just like him. I want to do that too, because heck, I know this great player and I want to do that. Yeah. And speaking of those seniors, we have our wonderful list of everyone who will be moving on.
Yeah, we've got to tip caps, and it is a long list, a laundry list, but one of the most impactful classes to ever come through Kalamazoo here. Jonah, Jeremy, Tommy, Zach, Jaquez, Emery, Andrew, Nate, Brennan, Sheldon, Jackson, Gabe, Carson, Adam, Andrew, Peyton, Devin, Carter, Emery. Guys, thank you so much. Your contributions practically unmatched, and this class of 2024 will go down in history. They're going to own a lot of the final records. Cody, thank you for correcting one more I missed there. And Cody Wrigley, one of the absolute biggest in physical terms. And yes, Cody Wrigley as well.
Riz.
And those are all 20, with Carter Main being the one sole junior. Tommy Cardis, the one guy that will be back for next fall. So stick around for that one. Speaking of back for next fall, in all likelihood I will be. Julia will not.
No, but hey, I appreciate you all for listening and having me on for 2 games. And I look forward to future games this year for K Athletics.
Exactly. The last thing that I wanted to get into, our fall season wraps up today. Hey, basketball is already underway.
They are.
The winter, the spring, those should be absolutely fantastic.
Right.
There are so many teams to be very excited about, so many outstanding. We've got record breakers all over the place. Zach Metz and I say this all the time. We are still in the golden era of Hornet athletics, and I never get anybody fighting me or pushing back on that because you just see it in evidence, and you feel it here in the stands, here on Angel, McKenzie, Woodworth, the softball field, back over at Anderson on campus. It is, in my opinion, just true. The golden era is still here.
I do agree. I'm excited to watch the rest of this year's athletics at K. I mean, obviously we know that K is not an easy school to go to, is it, Tanner? As we're both I'm finishing up my senior year here as a chemistry major, and Tanner too. I mean, finished a couple years ago now, but
don't remind me.
Sorry.
That's all right. That's all right.
I mean, we know it is not easy to be a student athlete at this school, but it just brings even more kudos to those athletes as they are part of that rigorous program.
And the final stats go like this. Josh Nichols, 19 of 33, adds 177 yards on the 1 touchdown complete to the leading receiver for the day, Lucas Hannafin. Hannafin goes 9 for 120 and a touchdown, giving him 9 on the year. And that guy's going to be back to break a whole bunch of records next year. It was a 45-yard catch and run for him. Second leading receiver, Nate Clark, goes 3 for 23. Connor Bell, filling in for Sheldon Riley, a difficult assignment, 12 for 96. 93 net yards, goes 7.8 yards a carry with a long of 56 and a touchdown. And on the Trine side, Ivan Collins, 16 of 20, 214 yards, 2 touchdowns, only sacked twice. His leading receiver, as it was all season long, Tristan Burris. Burris goes 6 for 103, 2 touchdowns with a long of 44 for the touchdown. And their second leading receiver, Owen Hebard, 2 for 46. Salim Felder helped them to grind it out on the ground. 22 carries, 81 yards, 3.7 average, 2 touchdowns, 1 more touchdown on the ground for Rashawn Street. That is all for the 2024 fall sports season here for Kalamazoo. For everybody that's joined us, even for a moment, we got to say thank you so much. I'm Tanner White. She's Julia Rambo. And have a great one. Again, thanks so much for anybody that's tuned in.